Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Forster Baseball Park. It is 71 degrees and 16 miles per hour of wind coming out of the southwest today. A gorgeous day for baseball. This is Noah Tobias along with Ryan Lockhart. And Ryan, really, we've got a good-looking game for tonight. We have Huntington versus Spring Arbor. And Huntington is coming into this game at 9-6, 2-1 for conference, and then Spring Arbor is coming into this game 8-14, 1-2 in conference. The first game just ended about 20 minutes ago, and Huntington ended up winning 10-6 there in that first game. What were some of your thoughts about that first game, Ryan?
I thought the Forsters did really good at the start of the game, Noah. They did a good job of getting on the scoreboard early and getting up big time on Spring Arbor. Kind of later in the game, they kind of faded a little bit, and Spring Arbor made a little bit of a comeback. But for the most part, your Forsters did a good job of getting up big and keeping that lead.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Bats were going strong for the Forsters there in that game. As you can see, 10-6 there in that first game. Starting lineups for both teams, starting with Spring Arbor. You're going to have batting leadoff, and he is up right now, James Hall. He's number two, second in the lineup. Number one, Chris Triplett. Number three in the lineup, number 21, Tyler Reed. Batting cleanup, number 4, Connor Lingenrich. Number 2, Jack Driscoll is in the 5th spot. Number 10, Kyle Harris is in the 6th spot. Number 14, Nick Harris is in the 7th spot. Number 30, Emilio Perez is in the 8th spot, and then rounding up the lineup is number 27, Francisco Andina. On the mound for the Forsters right now is going to be number 27, Taryn Beachy. Count is full right here starting off this second game. It is going to be a 9-inning game here for the second game.
The first game we played here at Forest Glen Park, Noah, was a seven-inning game. So I think I'm more excited to see how both teams will do in the final 2 innings of the game, to see kind of how they'll recuperate a little bit, kind of go with the flow of the game toward the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. And Forster's not starting off very well, as the first batter was walked. Now up for the Spring Arbor Cougars is going to be number 1, Chris Triplett. He's the third baseman for the Cougars. He is a sophomore out of Flushing, Michigan. Triplett has appeared in 21 games so far this season. He's got a 284 batting average so far, but really early in the season, so you know that those numbers are probably going to be a little lower.
And with Hall on first base, no, it'll be interesting to see if they'll keep him there, try to go for second base on the steal.
Count 1-1, almost bunted right there. Laid off, so now it's 2-1. Forster's really looking decent during the towards the beginning of this season. They are receiving votes to be in the top 25 at the moment, which is very good to see. If you really don't really know about this Forster squad, they do have 11 seniors on this team, which is really, really big for these Forsters.
Yeah, and senior leadership is especially key to any team, and especially early in a season. We see another bunt attempt there by Chris Triplett. It's key in the early part of the season, though, because you kind of want to get some early good wins, kind of get the snowball building. That way you hope we're in conference play now, but later in the season, you can really hit your stride and make something out of it. We see a bunt laid down there, and out at first. We'll see Hall advance to second, though. So it'll be 1 out on the first inning for you.
Yeah, a couple of key wins for the Forsters so far. On March 14th, they ended up beating number 22 ranked Reinhardt out of Georgia They won both games that they played against them in their doubleheader, and then they also came out during the first game of the season, beating number 14th ranked Campbellsville out of Kentucky, and they won 5-1 that game. So really, you're looking for a lot out of these Forsters here, with 11 Forsters leaving after this year. Really hoping to get a conference championship under their belt and possibly even a little bit more. Count as 1-1 on number 21 for the Cougars. That's going to be Tyler Reed. He's going to be playing right field during their defensive side. Hit him, so now players on first and second with one out. Now up to the plate is going to be number 4, Connor Lingrich.
Lingrich so far this year, is only batting .246, so a little bit low to be batting in the third spot, but we'll see if he can do anything with 2 men on base right here.
Lingrich will be the designated hitter for this game. But really, so far for the Foresters, Beachy, he's pitching pretty close to the players, and you saw, I believe now 2 players have been hit by a pitch. Again, count 1-1 here at Forster Glen Park.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that, as maybe that's just him trying to back the guys away from the plate a little bit so he can set up maybe an outside pitch later in these strike counts.
Yeah, something, a little different from basketball to baseball for the Crossroads League. Basketball, the Crossroads League was very competitive and really highly ranked for basketball, but, you can see with baseball, it's not a huge competitive thing. And there's a lot of really great schools, but really just not baseball-oriented, I guess you can call it. Huntington is the only school in the Crossroads League receiving any votes to be in the top 25. So that is very impressive for this group of Foresters. Now up to the plate, number 2 for the Cougars, it will be Jack Driscoll. He'll be playing second base when he is on the defensive side. Strike 1 was called, so 0-1. Driscoll is batting .269 so far in the season. It's going to be a pass ball. They're going to go home, and he's going to be safe. Number 8 for the Cougars, James Hall. Score now 1-0 in favor of the Cougars. Reed was able to move to third base, and also number 4, Lingrich, was able to go to second. So 2 players in scoring position for the Cougars.
No, that's a good early run there for Spring Arbor to get up early on the board, especially 2 other guys in scoring position. Hopefully the Forsters can keep this in hand and limit these runs, as you don't want Spring Arbor to get ahead too early as we see another foul tip on that pitch.
Yeah, Huntington, they have gotten 9 runs in the first inning so far this season, but their opponents are scoring 16 runs in the first inning. But definitely the Forsters, their main scoring is usually later in the game. Usually in the 6th inning, they have gotten 18 runs in the 6th inning. So the Forsters really, they love to just come back and rally back.
Yeah, and I know with Spring Arbor, Noah, they usually do their damage toward the front end of the game, as they're typically scoring about, so far this year, they've scored 21 runs in the first inning, and that is by far their most, as we see a pop-up here behind second base. It is dropped. We'll see the guy come home. He is safe. The man will stay at second base as that is another run for Spring Arbor, Noah.
Yeah, Huntington just not really sure what they're going to do right there. Wasn't really sure what they were going to do right there. Now, the catcher, Crowley, he is really arguing that, the player for Spring Arbor did not touch the plate, but he did touch the corner, so that was a good call by the umpire.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to these umps, Noah, because in the first game I know we watched, there was a lot of calls that were bang-bang that we thought really could have went either way, that could have swayed the momentum of this game for really either team. So you got to give your hats off to the umps for making these good calls.
Yeah, definitely. And both coaches from Huntington and Spring Arbor came out and had a couple of talks with the umpires during that first game. Because you're right, there were a couple very controversial calls. Center fielder for Huntington, right fielder for Huntington, 19, Combs able to make the catch. Base runners do not advance. So 2 outs in the top of the first, 2-0 Spring Arbor. Now up to the plate, number 14 for the Cougars, Nick Harris. He's going to be at the shortstop position on the defensive side. A line ball, pop fly to right field. Comes able to make the catch, and that will do it for the top of the first. Spring Arbor up 2-0 at the end of the top of the first. Stay right here on Forster on FTN Sports. We will be right back.
When a family has to make one of the biggest decisions of their lives, they need more than a realtor.
I need a house.
They need an extraordinary team of experts working day in and day out to provide service and knowledge to get the job done right. Anything short of intensity, passion, and drive is unacceptable. Introducing the Ness Brothers, an unstoppable force of realtors here to turn the biggest decision of your life into a walk in the park.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring up music.
Hello and welcome to FDN News. I'm Kelsey Cruz.
Hi everyone and welcome down to Forest Glen Park. I'm Logan Hines.
Hello, it's Hannah here on Forester Radio 105.5 FM, WQHU. That was just Brother with Need to Breathe, and up next we have Hillsong with Touch the Sky.
Once the floodwaters go down for
This program, I felt like really prepared me well for what it would be like to be in the news industry.
From yesterday to today, the water has certainly risen and spread.
You become a one-man band by the time you graduate, which that's something that people are looking for. People who can...
Welcome back to Forest Glen Park. HU down 2-0. Now at the bottom of the first inning. First up for the Foresters will be number 19, Dalton Combs. Made a couple of nice grabs there at the end of the first inning.
You know, Noah, I don't know about you, but I am really excited to see Combs in the second game, as we saw him belt a home run to left field in the first game. So I'm excited to see how he'll change for the second game. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he keeps his hot streak he's on right now.
Yeah, Combs is batting .306 at the moment. Ball right back to the pitcher. Ball flung over. And now that ball does go inside the dugout, so he gets to go to second.
Thought for a minute that was Derek Jeter out there playing second the way he made that jump throw.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild throw over there, the first base. Brody Harris is on the mound for Spring Arbor. His ERA is .591, so really struggling just a little bit so far this year. He's 1-2 for the season. But again, this is really early on for the season, so you know that these numbers are not as, I guess you can call it, accurate. Batting for the Foresters, number 15, Adam Roser, shortstop for the Foresters.
Roser is currently batting .326 on the year so far, Noah. As anytime I think you bat over 300, I think you like to see that. See a throwback to second to try to catch Combs.
Combs was fully aware that that was coming, and he got back there safe and sound. 1-0 with count. Harris with the pitch. Just a little outside and low. Yeah, early on it was really nice to see that Combs was able to get the bat on the ball. Shows a lot going on for the Foresters. Their bats have been hot pretty recently. Just caught the outside corner. 2-1 now. That was very close. That was a very close pitch, but that was a great job by Harris just getting it on the outside edge.
Great job to paint the corners, as you would say in baseball.
Count now 3-1. Harris really needs to be careful. But at the same time, you think, well, if he gets put on first base, if Huntington gets put on first and second base, then you can get a double play. But at the same time, you don't want to get too crazy with it. We're only in the first inning.
Yeah, and I feel as if that's why Brody Harris is pitching down low to him, as we see another ball there. So we'll put a man on first. That'll be Roser going to first.
Now first baseman Shea Beecham. Sorry about that. He is just a complete monster, folks. He has had a good amount of home runs here already in this season, and he had one of them during the first game tonight.
He's definitely not a guy I think I would want to mess with here on campus, as he looks like he's probably about 6'5". That'll be a strike by Brody Harris there.
He has had 15 home runs so far this season. He's batting .286, and usually either he hits a home run or he gets a single. I mean, that's honestly, that's about all he's going to do. Ball almost hit him, but it is going to be 1-1. And on first and second for the Foresters. Brady Harris doesn't want to get into any trouble here early on. Shea almost swung at it, but it is going to be 2-1. Good job just waiting back on that.
Looked like it was just a little bit too far outside for his liking, Noah.
And you'll notice, for Beecham, if he's gonna hit, if he's gonna hit a home run, just how he sits back while he's batting. And there's one to left field. We'll have a couple of guys score. Actually, that's gonna be another home run. That'll be his 16th home run for the year. Foresters now go up 3-2 here at the bottom of the first inning. Like I said, home run or single, and honestly just barely got over, it looked like, from here.
I believe that's his second one on the day, Noah, because he had one in the first. As you see him here join his teammates in celebration. Is that a blue frog over there?
I don't know what that is. That must be like their lucky thing of the year or something. I mean, 2 years ago with the Chicago Cubs, they would always rub their heads.
Yeah.
And so that might be their thing. superstitious, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, whatever's working for you in baseball, stick to it.
Now at the plate for the Foresters, we're going to have the cleanup man, number 34, Tyler Zimski, playing left field for the Foresters. Just foul, tipped it out. 0-2. Still no outs for the Foresters. Actually, check that. Spring Arbor. Harris now with the pitch, and it will be outside. 1-2 now. Harris has only played in 4 games, and he started all of them. He has allowed 17 runs during his season here. And that was his first home run that he has given up as well. Zimski looking like he wants to do some damage right here. Just foul tipped it off. Stays live. Count still 1-2.
With only 5 RBIs on the year, you got to think if Zimski wasn't behind Shea, he would have a lot more. But Shea, as we saw on the previous batter, he just crushes the ball almost every time. As we'll see another ball there.
2-2 is the count for Zimski. Harris now really wanting to get out of this inning as fast as possible. Still 0 outs. There's a hit for Zimski. And the left fielder is going to dive but misses. Zimski going to get a double out of this. Number 4 for Spring Arbor, Lingrich not able to get to that, but that was a great hustle by him trying to dive for that baseball. Ball did land in the warning track, so that's how far he had to go back.
Yeah, no, if you look straight out to center field, we have 3 flags that are up. You can see they have a little bit of a pickup to the right, but not a whole lot. So really any of these balls that are hit up in the air, any pop fly, they have potential to go over the fence because we don't have big wind. But at the same time, you don't want to pop it up too high because obviously it'll turn into a pop fly.
And number 26 for the Foresters, Michael Crowley. He's the catcher for your Foresters. Count is 1-0 for Crowley. It's turning into a long inning very quickly for Harris and the Cougars. With the pitch, Crowley popped him up. A little miscommunication. Now finally the center fielder, number 27 for the Cougars, Ondina, able to pull that ball in. First out for the Cougars.
Good swing there by Crowley. Just got under it a little bit too much.
Now batting at 6 now for the Foresters, number 9, Andrew Natividad. He is the third baseman for your Foresters.
Natividad is currently batting .268 on the year now, so it'll be exciting to see what he can do. Maybe try to get that average up over 300 between the 2 games that were played today. As we'll see, the first pitch is fouled off.
Yeah, he was pretty late getting around to that pitch. And on second, 0-1, 1 out for the Cougars. Trying to get this first inning out of the way. Natividad grounds it to shortstop and is out at first. 2 outs man on third now. Able to switch from second to third.
It looked like there for a minute when Nick Harris, that short, fielded that, Noah. It looked like he wanted to try for third there, but just decided with the easy out at first.
Yeah, and that's going to be the safe play for Harris. That's a good job by him because he could have easily thrown that to third base, like you said. But at the same time, if you don't make that throw perfectly to third base, that's going to be really tough. Now up for the Foresters, number 22, Hunter Lusenkamp. He's going to be the DH for the Foresters during this game tonight. Just a little low and outside for Harris. 1-1 is the count.
Currently in the bottom of inning one, it is your Foresters up 3-2 against the Spring Arbor Cougars here at Forest Glen Park.
2-2. Lusenkamp just trying to sit back and wait for his pitch.
With 2 outs, you certainly think Lusenkamp wants to keep one here in one of the alleys, as we'll see another ball, so that'll bring it to 3-1. That way he can hopefully get that runner on third home, Noah.
Really don't want to leave a man on third here at the end of the first. That is definitely their goal right now. The umpire did say that Lusenkamp swung, so that will be a full count, 3-2 with 2 outs for the Cougars.
Our view from behind the plate here, that looked like it almost would have been a strike anyway, just there on the corner.
Lusenkamp just kind of hesitated right there. Struck him out at the end of the first inning. Your Foresters lead Spring Arbor 3-2 at the end of one, going to 9 innings here at Forster Glen Park. Thank you for joining us here tonight for the second game. Again, your Foresters lead 3-2 after one. We will be right back.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bit of music.
Hello and welcome to FDN News. I'm Kelsey Cruz.
Hi everyone and welcome down to Forest Glen Park. I'm Logan Hunt.
Hello, it's Hannah here on Forester Radio 105.5 FM, WQHU. That was just Brother with Need to Breathe, and up next we have Hillsong with Touch the Sky.
Once the floodwaters go down for
This program, I felt like really prepared me well for what it would be like to be in the news industry.
From yesterday to today, the water has certainly risen and spread.
You become a one-man band by the time you graduate, which that's something that people are looking for. People who can shoot, write, and edit all their own stuff.
I was definitely blessed enough to come in and I started calling games right away as a play-by-play announcer.
Longley tipped. Down and in, and the Foresters taking the second set. Mateo with a nice cutback. She'll take the hit, left foot. That's in! Takes the 3. That's good!
Through FDN Sports, it's really going to feel like a professional setting. I'm looking to really just take it to the next level. Really
Back here at Forster Glen Park. Starting off the second inning for the Cougars will be number 30, Emilio Perez. First pitch is going to be a strike. Ball 1 for Beachy.
Perez so far on the year, Noah, not really batting too good as he's only batting 185. We'll see him get hit by a pitch there by Beachy, as that'll put him on first. I believe that is the third batter, if I'm correct, Noah, that's been hit by a pitch tonight. So that's definitely something we'll want to keep an eye on as we go throughout this game.
Beachy, he has a 7.3 ERA so far in this season. Again, really not the greatest start for him. He has been hit off of 16 times, and 12 runs have scored against him. Now up for Spring Arbor will be number 27, Francisco Ondina. Gonna try to bunt, and that will be foul tipped. 0-1. Really just trying to move over Perez from first to second is his goal.
With Perez on first, Noah, as a pitcher, you got to think that gets a little bit of nerves kind of jarred up in you, as maybe a wild pitch per se, or just something can happen and can move that runner up to second. So, as we see another ball there to bring the count to 1-2, you got to think Beachy's kind of got that in the back of his mind. Even though Perez is only on first, you got to still think about that as a pitcher.
Crowley hesitating to throw over to first base to keep Perez close. Yet again, thought about throwing it over to first. Shea was right there for the Foresters, waiting for Crowley to throw the ball to him. 2-2. Ondina, 3-2 count for him. Well, he needs to be smart about what pitch he swings at. Foul tip. Stays alive for yet another pitch.
No, I don't know if you saw Perez over there on first base, but he kind of took a stutter step like he was going to take off to second, but kind of slowed down a little bit as if he wasn't sure to run or not.
3-2 count. That will be ball 4. Runners now on first and second for the Foresters. Crowley is going to go up to his pitcher and just talk about a couple of things with him, trying to calm him down just a little bit. Smart play by him.
We'll come back to the top of the lineup here, Noah, as James Hall will be up with a man on second and a man on first. If you flash back to the first inning and remember, Noah, Hall was hit by a pitch. So it'll be interesting to see if he can put a ball in play here.
Yeah, putting a ball in play would be very deadly for the Foresters. He's wanting to bunt right now. Pulls it back. 1-0 for him, for Hall.
A little part of me wondering, is Hall just kind of doing the fake bunt, see if he can pull it back and take a rip at one. We'll see a strike on that one. Put the count at 1-1.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. His form for his bunt, I mean, he really just sticks the front of his body really up there far. And it's almost like he has like the weight of his body all the way forward, wanting to take the bat back with his entire weight. But nope, he is wanting to bunt. Foul tips it off. Now it's 1-2, so not really sure if you want to take that chance now. During one of the games this past Tuesday versus Mount Vernon, I remember a player from Mount Vernon, he tried to bunt down the first baseline, and it was 1-2, and he ended up foul tipping it, and it went out of play, and so he was out, and so really, you really got to have a lot of confidence in your batter if you want to tell him to try to bunt during that third strike. Strike 3 for Hall. First out now for the Foresters. Runner still on first and second. Now second in the lineup, number 1, Chris Triplett. Foresters coach is going to come out and have a little talk with Beachy.
We'll see both of the runners on second and first come in and talk with the batter number 1, Chris Triplett, and the third base coach here. Maybe thinking about a double steal.
That'd be pretty risky here only in the second inning. But it would definitely make things very interesting. About ready to resume play here in Forest Glen Field.
Triplett struck out his first time at bat, Noah. So it'll be kind of nice to see if he can put a ball in play here. We'll get the pitch from Beachy. Bunt down the third baseline. Scooped up, and he is out. Safe, excuse me. Excuse me, check that. He is out.
He is out. Very controversial. I'm surprised that coaches are not coming out to talk to the umpire about that. That was a very close call. And on the news, 2 outs for the Foresters. 0-1 now. The batter will be Tyler Reed. Runners are on second and third at the moment. Reed going to put it down third base line. That is a fair ball. Trying to get the ball in play finally. Now getting it into the shortstop, number 15, Roser. Both runners from second and third did score. Perez and Andina. So now the score is 4-3 in the Cougars' advantage. Up to bat now for the Cougars is going to be number 4, Connor Lingrich. Strike 1 is called on the outside edge.
Good placement there by Beachy.
Yeah, Beachy really wanting to use those outside edges to his advantage. That's a little low for the umpire to call. Now just a little inside for Beachy. Well, he's trying to get back into his rhythm, trying to recover after that big hit. Lingrich just absolutely smoked that down third base line. Actually, no, I'm sorry, not Lingrich, Reed. Lingrich will hit it to the shortstop, and now the first. Shea did a great job of just stretching out there. After the top of the second, Spring Arbor leads 4-3. Able to come back with 2 more after the big first inning. We will take a quick break from Forster Field here on FDN Sports.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bit of music.
Hello and welcome to FDN News. I'm Kelsey Cruz.
Hi everyone and welcome down to Forest Glen Park. I'm Logan Huntington.
Hello, it's Hannah here on Forester Radio 105.5 FM, WQHU. That was just Brother with Need to Breathe, and up next we have Hillsong with Touch the Sky.
Once the floodwaters go down for
This
some
program, I felt like really prepared me well for what it would be like to be in the news industry.
From yesterday to today, the water has certainly risen and spread.
You become a one-man band by the time you graduate, which that's something that people are looking for. People who can shoot, write, and edit all their own stuff.
I was definitely blessed enough to come in and I started calling games right away as a play-by-play announcer.
Longley tipped, down and in, and the Foresters taking the second set. Mateo with a nice cutback, she'll take the hit left foot, that's in! Takes the 3, that's good!
Through FDN Sports, it's really going to feel like a professional setting. I'm looking to really just take it to...
Welcome back. Score is 4-3. Spring Arbor on top of the Foresters. At the plate for the Foresters, number 5, Dylan Hendricks. Dylan is the third baseman for the Foresters.
With your Foresters currently down 3-4, it'll be interesting to see as we see a foul tip here how Brody Harris will respond after that first inning, where he gave up 3 runs.
Yeah, we'll see if Huntington is able to answer that call.
There's a wild pitch way outside.
Catcher wasn't even able to stop that ball. 1-2 is the count for Hendricks. Hendricks taking a huge rip at that. Catcher is not able to catch that ball. But Hendricks will be out at first base. Now at the plate for the Foresters will be number 20, Jamar Weaver, the center fielder for your Foresters, and the 9th batter for them as well. Weaver shaped up to bunt the ball at the very last second, but he did pull his bat away. So 1-0. Weaver's batting 179. Here only 15 games into the season.
Looks like that pitch dropped just a little bit there at the end, so we'll have a 2-0 count.
Takes a rip at it, and it will be a foul ball over on the left side, on the right side.
You know, one thing I've noticed this whole game, Noah, is that the Foresters don't mind taking swings at all, by no means.
Yeah, really, when they're swinging their bats, they will try to rip it as hard as they can, and it will come to a 3-1 count for Weaver. Weaver really needs to see his pitch if he's going to take a swing now. And that will be ball 4 for Weaver, and he will head on down to first base. Now the right fielder will come back on to the plate, and that will be Dalton Combs. Ryan, like you said earlier, he did have a home run there in that first game, so it'll be interesting to see what all he does during this game.
Yeah, and even on top of that, his first time around, though, he did get a base hit. So, I mean, it's not like he's had a terrible day. I mean, only having a home run in a game and a base hit, that's by no means a bad day.
Last pitch for Harris did catch the outside edge, so that will be 0-1. Again, Harris just struggling a little bit there in that first inning. Able to get one out very quickly and then walking yet another player. One and one now. Ball just a little outside of that edge.
As the game rolls on, it's starting to get a little bit cooler outside, so see how the players adjust to that as we'll see another pitch to first. Perez will just tap first. That'll advance Weaver to second base.
Yeah, and Perez, if he wanted to try to turn 2 right there, he would have had to turn his entire body, and then they wouldn't have been able to get to first base, but at the same time, you would have gotten the lead base runner. So really just a 50. I mean, really, just you're not sure what to do right there. But he did get the safe out, and now it's 2 outs.
Yeah, and that's one though. If you get a clean ground ball and you can tap first, maybe try for second, throw to second, as we'll see a ball there. But just in that situation, good play by Perez to take the sure out at first and not try to force anything at second. Like you mentioned, we do have 2 outs, so regardless, you're not in a bad situation.
Just a little high for the umpire to call, so it'll be 2-0. Now, if you look at the Cougars roster, one thing that you will notice is that there are 6 different Harrises on this roster. So a lot of first names that we're going to have to be calling, and a lot of first names that fans are really going to have to be remembering will be strike 1 against Roser. Two and 1 is the count. Man on second, 2 outs. Pitches away and a swing and a miss. That will be 2-2 now.
That was a pretty big swing there, Noah, by Roser. I'm sure that one would at least put him back at the warning track if he would have made good contact with it.
Really don't want to leave a man on base right here, trailing by 1 run. Roser foul tips the ball. Good job fighting for that ball, though. Swinging at anything close. Really interesting to see where he's going to place the ball if he's able to get a bat on the ball. That ball will go right to second base and right to first. So no runs on 1 man left on base here for the Foresters. Spring Arbor is leading 4-3 after 2. We will be right back to Forest Glen Park with some more baseball for you.
When I set foot on Huntington's campus for the first time, I just knew that this was the place I was supposed to be, and that decision forever changed my life. I was a new Christian at the time, but I grew so much while I was at Huntington. I felt known and I felt valued there, and the education department was just so great. In fact, I found a job before I even graduated, and I believe that's because my classes at Huntington equipped me to do so. I'm fulfilling my goal of serving others through teaching, and because of Huntington's impact on me, I now have that desire to pass on those values to all my students.
In high school, my life felt empty in a way. I was living in a world full of temptations and distractions, and I needed to be transformed, I guess you could say. Here at Huntington, there are many ways that I experienced that transformation. As a film major, I feel encouraged by my friends, upperclassmen, and by my professors. Other students and staff are willing to pass on their knowledge, and that inspires me to do the same towards others. My ultimate goal in life is to become a filmmaker who gives back. I want to give people that energy and passion that I feel after watching a film. I want to go out in the world and give thanks to God for the gifts He has given me, making good art, and be the spark of encouragement.
Welcome back to Forest Glen Park. Spring Arbor now up to bat, and number 2, Jack Driscoll, will be at the plate. But I am now joined by Mr. Jim Landrum. Jim, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Noah. How are you this evening?
I'm not too bad. Really a great night for baseball, so thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your attendance here tonight and just your overall presence here in the press box with us.
Well, I appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So what do you really do for a living? I know you do a lot of commentating for Wabash. How did you get really mixed up into commentating?
Well, that's an interesting story. I've been a banker most of my life. Right now I work in higher education. But my start on the radio was a few years ago doing high school sports. I had a friend of mine I just used to play some ball with myself. He was a sports announcer. He asked me if I would join him, and I did. And did that for about 5 years on radio. And now we do internet TV for Wabash Web TV.
Wow, that is very impressive. And so, what are some of the sports that you commentate?
Baseball, basketball, and football. We carry Wabash County sports, all 4 high schools, and probably the greatest thing that happened to me was the very first sport I did was high school baseball. And I got to cover the Manchester high school team when they won a state championship. I got to do my very first sport, a state championship baseball game. In the fall, Southwood won a state championship football game in which I got to commentate. So it was quite a beginning, and it was a lot of fun to be involved with those kids.
I was going to say you must have been very busy trying to do 4 sports, but also the different sports, but then the 4 high schools that you were doing that for. Very, very impressive. I know when I was back at my high school, only doing it for 1 school kept me busy, but doing it for 4, my goodness.
Well, we rotate, and it's a lot of fun. It's about the kids. It's not about us, and it's a hobby that doesn't cost me anything. How about that?
Sounds pretty good. Kyle Harris did just strike out for the Cougars. 2 outs now for the Foresters. Just trying to get that last out. And number 14, Nick Harris, will be up to the plate, shortstop for the Cougars.
Spring Arbor, a good baseball team. They execute, they do things the right way. Always a very impressive program.
And Jim, you actually have a son on the Forester team, Caleb Landrum, one of the pitchers for us, and I know he's been doing a fairly decent job here at the start of this year.
Well, I appreciate that. Coach Frame has used him as a closer, and he really relishes that role. It's a lot of fun to be in the game with the game on the line, and he was able to close out the first game today, and we just hope to get another win this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. 2-1 is the count for Beachy. Forester's just trying to end out the top of the second inning. At the top of the third inning.
Taryn got off to a bit of a rough start. Made a couple misplays behind him, but the good thing is I think he's starting to settle in here, and this team has really been on a roll.
Yeah, definitely. Huntington doing a great job of winning a few different games in a row. Lost 1 of the 2 games that they played on Tuesday versus Mount Vernon, but other than that, really, Huntington's bats have really been solid so far here in the last, I would say, 5-6 games.
I would agree wholeheartedly. They've really come on. Started the season a little bit slowly, but we go down south and we play against really good teams. We've played a lot of baseball. And once we've gotten going and hit our stride, we've really been doing a great job.
Definitely. Shea able to end out the top of the third inning. We will be right back going into the bottom of the third. Huntington still down 3-4.
It's just an incredible feeling to know that you are handing these folks the keys to a life-changing house. It's not just a house. It's not just walls and windows. It's a home that they get to bring up their family in, bring up their kids in, and show their kids what it means to get out of poverty and to make a better life for themselves. My name is Casey Colmorgan. I'm the Executive Director at Huntington County Habitat for Humanity. We are a construction company. We are a mortgage company. We are a financial institution. We are advocates for families. We are a budgeting center. And on top of it, we are also a retail store. So we wear a lot of hats as an organization. Our main focus is to serve the community any way we can. And so we want to help families empower themselves and find a better life through the process of homeownership.
Welcome back to Forster Glen Park. This is Noah Tobias along with Mr. Jim Landrum.
And Noah, let me say, I want to get this out for all of Huntington to hear, especially the Huntington University crowd. I've watched you on the basketball broadcast this winter. Followed very closely, and I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much. We definitely appreciate that here at FDN Sports. Shea with the big pop-up. That will go directly to the center fielder, number 27, Francisco Andina.
Shea started the year off a little bit slowly, But I'm telling you, once he hit his stride, he has just been on fire, crushing the baseball.
Yeah, 16 home runs so far this season in 15 games. I mean, I think that stat in itself is just unbelievable. I mean, when you have more home runs than you have had games, I mean, you know that he's a powerful hitter just by that stat.
Yeah, and actually it's 16 RBIs, not home runs.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
But he still has a lot of home runs. He had 3 coming into the day, and what's he got, 2 today?
Yes.
So he's got 5.
Okay.
But you're right on the RBIs. He had 16 coming into today, and what's he got, like 5 RBIs today, something like that?
At least.
So he is he's really doing a great job clutch hitting, and that's what's important to hit with men on base.
Yeah, and definitely being the third hitter in that lineup, that's definitely nice to have, but also having that as a backup with Huntington's fourth hitter in their lineup, Zemski, really, he's done a great job as well, just trying to battle through his at-bats.
I agree wholeheartedly. Tyler's a kid who went to Ball State, didn't play a lot there, transferred here to Huntington, and has come in and really done a fine job as Coach Frame has worked him into the lineup, and he's found a home in that 4-hole.
Yeah, and only a sophomore, so he's got a lot of years just to really improve on his skills.
Whoa, low bridge. Hope nobody got hurt down there.
Yeah, you saw everybody ducking.
I don't know if you were here last year, but Coach Frame took a line drive like that off the bean, and he was out.
Oh, my
cold.
gosh.
It really worried us. But, hey, he's a tough old bird, you know?
Well, I can't even imagine. And, you watch the major leagues and even some college games where the ball is hit right back to the pitcher. I mean, that can be fatal. I mean, that's awful. Thankfully, a walk has just occurred on Zemski. He is now at first base. Now up to bat for the Foresters, number 26, Michael Crowley.
I love Michael Crowley. I'm telling you. I came here and started watching when I knew Caleb was going to come here to school. I watched Mike 2 years ago. Incredible. I asked Coach Frame, how did you get him? Because he is a fine baseball player. He's even a better kid, a great teammate. I know my son loves pitching to him.
Yeah, well, and Crowley, he's a great catcher. I mean, only in the few games that I've seen this year, he's done a great job behind the plate.
I couldn't agree with you more. Here's a guy who has an extremely strong arm, a very accurate arm. They don't take many chances running the bases with him.
Yeah, definitely. And even when they're just warming up before each half inning, you see how accurate his arm really is and just what kind of a strong arm he does have as well. When you get those two together, I mean, you're just deadly. You are.
You're absolutely right. I've seen him block baseballs that bounce 10 feet away from him and still throw the guy out going to second base. It's incredible.
A lot of fun watching Crowley. Count is 0-2 with 1 out. Gotta take a quick time.
Here's the other piece with Mike. He was hitting .359 coming in. He hit a 2-run homer in the first game. He's on fire.
He really is. Well, and there were quite a bit of home runs there in that first game. I think that there were 3 or 4 home runs in that first game total.
Yeah, I know we had at least 3. I know Shea Beecham hit an absolute bomb to center field, and let me tell you, there aren't many baseballs fly out of here in center field. Crowley had a 2-run shot, and Will Corson-Carr had a home run to right.
Yep. Up to bat next for the Foresters will be number 9, Andrew Natividad, the third baseman. And I came to one of their practices early on in the year, and Natividad, he works hard during practice. He really does, and it's really great to see that. And that will go from practice to the field during a game, and it's really just amazing to see. Really, all of these Foresters putting in a lot of great work during the off season, and then even just coming into the beginning of the season.
That's a great observation. I have to tell you, I'm impressed by a guy who's going to come to practice and really be able to express that on the air, man. You're doing your homework.
It was actually for a project that I had to do, so
I'll
take that away from myself because let's be honest, I'm not that good.
Well, you make a great point about Drew. I watched all the fall games, and I love the fact that he's a slick fielder. He's a good hitter. He's been a great addition to this baseball team.
Definitely. Natividad has got a 1-1 count. Just inside and low. Be 2-1 now.
Well, we're still early in the game, but it would certainly be nice to get a 2-out base hit here to tie this game.
Yeah, definitely. You've got that tying run on second base right now. You left one on during the last inning. Really don't want to leave yet another man on early on in this game. Pitch is away, and now it's going to be 3-1 on the count. Harris really needs to be careful early on here. He struggled just a little bit there in that first inning. Came back pretty solid there in the second, but again, just a little wobbly, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I would agree, and this is a big spot for Drew right here. 3-1. This is the one you want to lay on.
And it will be low, so he will go on the first base. Runners on first and second. Now the designated hitter will come up to bat, number 22, Hunter Loosenkamp. Excuse me.
Hunter is another transfer into Huntington this year. He's done a great job as a backup catcher. Looking to get more time, I'm sure, but playing behind Crawley is not easy, so he's got a chance to hit today.
And he is a junior, and he is out of Milford, Ohio. We'll take that first strike. 0-1 is the count. Forster's really just trying to tie the ball game up. Now 2 men on base, trying to get one of those guys home. Ball in play in the outfield would do it with 1 runner in scoring position.
Another thing I like about this Forster baseball team right now, they're grinding out at bats. They're not swinging at the pitcher's pitches. They're going deep in counts, and when you have quality at bats like that, you're going to be successful, and it's certainly showing right now.
Harris again really just struggling just a little bit this year early on.
That's a great pitch right there. It's an outside curveball from the lefty, kind of the backdoor curveball, if you will, and that's a pitch you're really not going to hit. He did a good job to take that.
Yeah, really just needs to be careful on on just looking for his pitch here now late in the third inning. And especially with 2 outs, too. You don't want to swing at anything you're not comfortable with. He swung on that, and that's going to be another strikeout for Harris. At the end of 3, Spring Arbor up 4-3. We will be right back here at Forest Glen Park for some more Forster baseball. We will be right back.
It's just an incredible feeling to know that you are handing these folks the keys to a life-changing house. It's not just a house. It's not just walls and windows. It's a home that they get to bring up their family in, bring up their kids in, and show their kids what it means to get out of poverty and to make a better life for themselves. My name is Casey Colmorgan. I'm the Executive Director at Huntington County Habitat for Humanity. We are a construction company. We are a mortgage company. We are a financial institution. We are advocates for families. We are a budgeting center. And on top of it, we are also a retail store. So we wear a lot of hats as an organization. Our main focus is to serve the community any way we can. And so we want to help families empower themselves and find a better life through the process of homeownership. The need is so great, and that doesn't just mean families who are homeless.
Back here at Huntington University, 4-3. Spring Arbor does lead the Foresters.
We've got a little conversation between the coach and the umpire. Not sure what's going on here, but the Foresters did take that first game 10-6, and it's always tough in baseball to win both ends of a doubleheader.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and so you kind of look back at last Tuesday and Huntington being able to take the first game fairly easily 6-0, and then losing the second game in the 9th inning. Actually, I'm sorry, in the 10th inning, got 2 runs scored on him pretty quickly, and then that was the ball game. So that is really, really tough.
Yeah, and what was really tough about that was they really didn't hit the ball hard. They had a kind of a dribble here and a blooper there, but that's baseball, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you got different pitchers coming at you with just different stuff, and so that just changes the game completely when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was great to see the Foresters come back strong in the first game here, and let's see if we can get 2.
Definitely. Up to bat for Spring Arbor is going to be Emilio Perez. I believe he was hit or walked in the first inning.
I believe you're right. I think Taryn got him right on the thigh. Pretty good shot. Not intentional, though.
Well, and you know what? We've had quite a bit of walks so far tonight, I believe. I mean, I think we've had 5 or 6 combined from both pitchers.
That's a great observation because in baseball, you want them to hit their way on. Typically, games are won by walks and errors. And if you can stay away from those 2 things and make a team earn their runs, you're going to be hard to beat.
Perez struck out swinging there. First out for the Foresters.
I'll tell you what, Taryn Beachy is very dangerous because he weathered the storm early. He's going to get a lot tougher. I'm telling you, he's a good pitcher. He's a fastball slider guy, and I look for him to go deep in this game.
Yeah, and, you know, he is a junior, so he's got 1 more year after this with the Foresters. So, again, just trying to develop him into that senior year. But, you know, especially, you know, this year being a starting pitcher for the Foresters, you really just got to keep his confidence high.
Yeah, I agree with you. Confidence is huge in baseball, both for hitters and pitchers. And Taryn's a kid. Nothing bothers him. I really like Taryn. He's a deer hunter, so he's fearless, man.
Now up to plate for the Cougars will be number 27, Francisco Ondina. I believe Francisco ended up I think he actually got walked as well there in that first inning. He either got walked or he got a hit and it was a single. I'm not entirely sure.
Tell you what, we can look that up for you right here. Ondina did walk the first time up.
Just those walks, yep, back to back. But the count is 3-1 right now.
Well, here's the thing. He hits low in the order, so you really don't want to go deep into count to a kid like this. I mean, no offense. I'm sure he's a good hitter. He wouldn't be here, but these are the kind of guys you got to pound the zone on.
Well, and definitely because you don't want your leadoff hitter to get a really good hit and have him score. And he just walked yet again. He is 0 for 2 now, but he has been on base twice. So that's really tough just to look at.
Yeah, you like to see that out of your lower hitters in the order because obviously they're not hitting for a high average or they would be higher in the order. So to have a good eye and to work your way on base, that's a good at bat by the kid.
Now up to bat for Spring Arbor is going to be number 8, James Hall. He is your leadoff hitter. BG trying to keep Francisco close. Beachy now throws the pitch and is going to be a strike.
Great pitch. Going inside to the lefty. Shaving the corner.
Yeah, lefties, they are dangerous because when they pull, when they hit the baseball, they are just off running already. Ball is behind Crowley, and Francisco is able to get to second base.
Yeah, you make a good point about lefties. They're closer to first base, and if they can run, typically leadoff hitters can. They are very dangerous, especially in a situation like this. And again, we've got that short porch in right field, so definitely don't want to go inside too often to the lefties.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I remember last year as a senior in high school, watching our softball team. Really, there were a couple girls that were just so fast, they would actually just kind of swing bunt a little bit, and they would just fly down the first, and they would beat the throw every single time. Great diving catch, though, by the shortstop, number 15, Adam Roser.
Adam Roser is he's just a baseball player. He's a gamer. He's a kid you want on your team. Caleb was fortunate enough to play travel baseball with him, and he hits for average. He has good at-bats. He's good defensively. He's just a winner.
Definitely. And with a lot of seniors on this Forster squad, you know, you got to think they really just want to finish out strong here at Huntington.
That's a great observation. Good teams are led by seniors. And you're right, there's a great senior core. These guys are great teammates. They're leaders. And this team's close-knit. They've got a chance to be special.
Yeah, and they are receiving votes to be in the top 25, which is absolutely impressive here early on in the season. And hopefully they will be able to get into that top 25 here in the next couple of weeks.
Just to prove to you that you're not the only prep guy, okay? I mean, you're a prep guy. I get that. But let me tell you, they're number 32 in the country. They received 32 votes. And here's the interesting thing, guys. We beat Indiana Tech last Saturday. Tech moved into the top 25, and we didn't. So I've got an objection to that. But the second thing is, Reinhardt, Georgia, who we swept in a doubleheader a week or so ago, they're placed three places above us. And Cumberland's Kentucky, who I believe we at least split with.
We actually won 2 games. We won the doubleheader of that, but then we lost the game before that to them. So, I mean, we're 2-1 on the series with them.
Yeah, I think we need to be in the top 25.
I mean, we are just that close. I mean, that's the thing. We are just that close, but at the same time, you look at exactly what you just said, and you got to think, wait, what are we missing right here?
Well, Coach Frame obviously going to the mound, having a conversation with Taryn, and we actually, I don't see action in the bullpen right now.
No, nobody is throwing in the bullpen. Looks like there's a couple of guys standing up, but really, I'm not sure. Doesn't look like they're necessarily stretching out or anything of that sort.
You never know what the conversations are on the mound. I've been a manager, and sometimes you go out and you talk about anything else to get their mind off of it. Sometimes you focus them on the game. But I really think Coach Frame just went out there to slow him down a little bit and just make sure he's ready to focus and get this guy out. And there it is.
I think that's about all you needed to say right there. I mean, you called that one very easily. At the end of the top of the 4th inning, the score is still 4-3. Spring Arbor is still ahead. We will be right back here from Huntington University.
FDN News is our campus news station, and we are just a news station that shines Christ light on campus and in the Huntington community, whether that be going to a presidential rally or talking about the meal plans on campus. Everything we do for the glory of God.
With news, you have such a great opportunity to go out, to hear people's stories, tell their stories, and to be light, and to share that light. So my goal for FDN News is, first and foremost, that students would learn, that they would engage, they would learn a little bit about themselves, about communicating with others, refine their skills, and become expert storytellers for the kingdom of Christ. The benefit to coming to Huntington and being in the Forrester Digital Network is you get hands-on experience. So we have some freshmen coming in that week 1, they are taking a camera out and they are teaming up with an upperclassman and refining their skills. So
back here at Huntington, Huntington is going to be at bat at the start of the bottom of the 4th inning, and at bat to start it off, we've got number 5, Dylan Hendricks, Dylan is going to be, I'm trying to figure out where he is all at in this. Number 5, he is going to be at second base for us.
Yeah, Dylan's another senior leader on this team. He's been mostly a shortstop, but he had a bit of a finger issue, I believe. Was hit on the end of the finger with a ball, and he's had to be moved to second base, but he's a kid who just wants to win.
Yeah, and really, that's, again, senior leadership. You want those kind of kids on your baseball team just to get that through their head. He does get a little dinker at the just right behind the pitcher's mound, but he is safe, able to beat out that throw.
We just talked about that. Those are the kind of things that leaders do. I mean, okay, he doesn't hit it as squarely as he'd like to, but he hustles down to first base, makes it tough on the fielders there, and he's safe.
Jamar Weaver, the center fielder, will now be at bat for the Foresters. With a man on first, no outs, you really are trying to think that they will score that first base runner. Really in need of that run here. Starting to get a little later into this ball game.
Well, this is a great position for a guy like Jamar. I love the way he approaches his at-bats at the plate. He'll grind out at-bats. Pitchers have to hate seeing him come up because he won't swing at a bad pitch. He will make you. He will work you. He'll foul off pitches. He'll get the job done. He's liable to bunt right here.
And even on the defensive side for Jamar, he's a great hustler, and he's able to put one right behind the center fielder's head.
There we go. Attaboy, Jamar.
He's going to try to go for third base. Weaver will score, and Jamar will be at third base. And number 5, Hendricks, he will score. So now that is a tie ball game. Great job by Jamar.
If we'd had one more pitch, the other thing I was going to say about Jamar is just that. He will go the other way. He'll go the other way strong. I wish I'd have said that before he hit it. But here's the point. That's a great at-bat by Jamar. He's not trying to do too much. He takes the ball the other way. What a shot into right center. If you can go oppo like that, that's good hitting.
Well, definitely. And number 27, Francisco, he's the center fielder for Spring Arbor. It almost looked like he started to come in just a little bit, and then he figured out, oh, crap, I really need to start going backwards, and then it was just too late from there.
That's a great call because Jamar put a charge into that. You don't expect a ball to be hit that hard the other way, and he did a great job right there.
Up to bat for the Foresters, number 19, Combs. He got a bat on the ball, but the ball actually just dropped, and Jamar is able to score, so now Foresters up 5-4.
I'll tell you, Dalton Combs is absolutely one of the best hitters on this baseball team. I love the at-bats he has. Coach Frame's done something interesting this year. Dalton's been more of a middle-of-the-order hitter. This year, he's got him in the leadoff spot. I'm telling you, he's igniting this offense.
I was going to say, I think that's really sparked his confidence here in the beginning of this season, in the beginning of conference play, I guess we can say now.
I would agree wholeheartedly. He's definitely a leader on this team, and what a hitter.
I think it would really mean something if Huntington could go 3-1 on the conference at the end of today. Almost a little bit of miscommunication, but number 1, Chris Triplett, able to pull down that pop fly.
We were talking earlier about the Foresters' rank in the country, and you may have seen it on Twitter earlier this week, but we were actually rated number 3 in the country in what's called the NAIA Baseball Bow Chip Power Index. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's similar to a Sagarin rating that you have in high school basketball where he rates based on strength of schedule, actual what's happened on the field, and not just somebody's opinions. I see we dropped to number 7, but number 7 in the country is not too bad.
Definitely in the country. I mean, that's just impressive in itself. Shea able to get that down the right field line, and he will just stay at first.
What a nice job of hitting right there by Shea Beecham. We all know he can hit bombs to left, he can hit bombs to center, but right there he doesn't try to do too much, keep the inning going, get it to the next guy. I mean, we're in the middle of the order here. What a nice piece of hitting, opposite way.
And Tyler Reed, he did a great job from right field, getting that ball in as quickly as possible, but Shea, I said this earlier, either he gets a single or he gets a home run. It seems like at least.
You know, I told you I did the high school sports radio. Well, I got the pleasure of covering Shea as a high school player. He was probably the best high school hitter I've ever seen.
Really?
I mean, he didn't swing at bad pitches. When I covered him, he was hitting 600. He hit for power. He didn't swing at bad pitches. When he got his pitch, he crushed it.
Yeah, and that is definitely transitioning from high school now to Huntington University.
Oh, yeah.
And he is a senior this year, and so he will be missed next year. He is definitely one of the many seniors that will be missed next year.
Yeah, you don't replace a guy like Shea Beecham. You've just got to move on to another player because not only is he a good power hitter, but he hits in big situations. He's a clutch hitter, and that's special.
Definitely. And being in that third spot, I mentioned this a little earlier, being in that third spot, you need somebody like Shea just to boost confidence and to have that kind of power and he makes a lot of contact with the baseball.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot for a power hitter.
Now up to the plate for the Foresters is going to be number 34, Tyler Zimski. Again, talked about him just a little bit ago. great person all around, great baseball player.
There's just a great feel to this team right now. Everybody doing their job. There's a lot of cohesion, and I believe they really like each other. And that makes a difference.
Definitely. In any team sport, really, that's going to make a difference in how they play together and just like their chemistry together on the field or on the basketball court or whatever, whatever team sport you're actually playing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, the Foresters trying to tack on here. I mean, taking the lead here in the fourth inning is great. If you can scratch another with 2 outs, that'd be big.
Yeah, and Harris just trying to get out of this fourth inning. That will be a foul ball for Zimski.
Zimski's another kid who's not afraid to go the other way. And when you can go the other way as a hitter, you're dangerous.
I was going to say, really, that just changes the defensive thinking around that batter.
Absolutely.
Harris in for the pitch. Ball. And Shea will be there and will be safe.
I think we had a pinch runner there, didn't we?
I'm not sure. I didn't. Okay, we did have a pinch runner. I'm sorry. That will be number 1, Kyle Selvey.
Oh, yeah, Kyle. He's kind of the designated pinch runner. A lot of speed. Because when you said Shea was stealing, I was a little surprised.
Yeah, I know. I just saying that, I'm like, well, I don't know if that's right because he looks a little smaller than Shea, so I'm really not sure about that.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Shea's a great hitter. He is not a speedster, okay? I'm going to go on
record.
That is
very, no, that's true.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, but hey, I have seen him steal a base. It happens.
I think he attempted to steal a base during one of the Mount Vernon games. I think it was the first game, but like you said, he does not try to steal that much at all.
And to be serious for a minute here, we're poking a little fun at Shea because he's going so good right now. We can afford to do that. But he does have some knee issues. This kid has played hurt for a long time, and he's a warrior, I'm telling you.
And again, senior leadership, I mean, just shown right there, just powering through about everything. And he's a great first baseman. Yeah. I mean, he stretches way out there just trying to get the ball just a millisecond sooner than the base runner taps his foot on the base.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing he can do, he can really pick it over there. I was a shortstop, and I love a first baseman that can pick him because they can save you a lot of errors.
Saves you a lot of talking tos from your head coach as well.
Amen.
Another strikeout for Harris. That is going to be the end of the fourth inning. Your Foresters now up 5-4 after 4. We will be right back with the fifth inning.
Hi, I'm Max Walker, and to most folks I may look like a mixture between George Clooney and Tom Hanks from Castaway. But in reality, I woke up this morning, poured my bowl of Fruit Loops, and went back to the grind, just like you. After you, ma'am. But now I'm here, turning my stingy bachelor pad into a world of paradise. These aren't just your grandma's antiques, these are the antiques you deserve. So go ahead and tear down that old Backstreet Boy poster and throw up one of these bad boys. Thirsty? Come on down to the watering hole and grab yourself a soda. Welcome to Antiqueology, bringing Huntington back.
Being a part of the film department here at Huntington University is amazing. We have brilliant professors who are willing to teach us everything that they've known from being out in the field. First semester last year, I got the opportunity to work on the department film, Gift of Hope, where we had actual professionals in the field today come and work with Huntington students on a film.
Students here at Huntington University have an opportunity to focus on story, and they discover universal themes that matter to everyone, and they're able to integrate their faith into their filmmaking. This is very unique. It's something special about Huntington. Recently, we took a trip to Chicago for our seniors to be able to cast talent for their senior films. And there was such an array of talent available to them. It's great to be close to such a wonderful urban production.
Back here at Huntington University, your Foresters are now up 5-4. going into the 5th inning. Just a quick reminder, this is going to be a 9-inning baseball game, so we're going to have just a little extra baseball for you.
Yep, and we do have a new pitcher on the mound. Be number 11, Connor West. Connor's a Huntington North product. I've watched him since he's been about 10 years old, and Connor's a great kid. He throws hard, and I look for him to have a good game here this evening.
Well, you were talking a little bit about how you and Coach Steve Platt and also Coach Ty Platt kind of went back and forth coaching a little bit. To tell the people on air just a little bit about that as well, because that's very interesting.
Well, I grew up in the same neighborhood. You know, in the country, if you live within a couple miles of each other, you're neighbors. And Steve Platt was like my older brother growing up. I went to a lot of his games and actually had the pleasure of playing with him in some independent leagues as I got older. Ty and I had the joy of coaching together. His son Kyle and his son Connor and my son Caleb were all very similar ages. And so in baseball, I was the head coach, and Ty helped me. And in basketball, he was the head coach, and I helped him. And we had a lot of years. That's why I started watching your broadcast, because I really still follow the kids and want to see them do well. And I've been really impressed with their progress. Caleb actually played on the same high school basketball team with Kyle and with Connor. Kyle was a year older, Connor a year younger.
Mm-hmm.
So they played together and had some great years there. And that's why I started watching your broadcast. That's how I become such a big fan.
Well, we definitely appreciate that.
Well, let me say one thing. It's not, I mean, first of all, the commentators are great. I mean, you guys are excellent. But let me talk about the crew behind the scene here. I mean, the directors, the camera people, this is awesome. I'm impressed by you guys.
Yeah, I mean, just our professor, Adam Weiner, he gives us the equipment. He kind of shows us how to use it. But then just because it's all student-led, we all get so into everything. You know, we find what we're really comfortable with, what we really like doing, but then we also do a good job here at just trying out different things. Lingrich was walked, so he is at first base as a runner, and now number 2, Jack Driscoll, is at the plate, and the count is 0-1.
Connor had a great outing when we were down south. Came into a game that we were struggling in. I believe we were down something like 6-0. He pitched 5 shutout innings, held the team right where they were, and we came back and won that baseball game. And we could give a lot of credit. Connor did get the win.
When you can tell Connor, he is very powerful. There's going to be a bunt laid down, but that's going to go foul. Count will now go to 1-2 as Lingrich will come back to first base.
Connor's got a good fastball. Obviously, being a lefty, it's got some run on it. Pretty much over the top. He's got a good change, and when that combination change fastball's working, he's tough to hit.
Connor so far has 1 win to his name. His ERA is an even 3, and he has played in 3 games.
Yeah, I believe his batting average against is very low this year. He's only given up, I think, something like 3 hits maybe.
Yep, you are correct on that. 3 hits, and those, and he also has 3 runs against him. But really, he's doing a great job. Only with 3 games played, that'll be yet another foul ball.
Another thing that makes me really happy is that Connor West is just a fine young man. I've known him for a long time. I've had the opportunity. Occasionally we stay where the team does and get up for breakfast early one morning, and he was the only kid out there. So whenever I had breakfast with him, this was last year, and just had a great time with him. Great kid.
Driscoll really wanting to kind of sit back on his pitches and just wait for the one that he wants, but he's doing a great job battling so far. Connor will try to pick Lingrich off at first, but is unable to do so, just trying to keep him a little scared over there at first base.
Yeah, Driscoll's the 5 hitter in this lineup. Doesn't have a hit so far in the game, but he does have an RBI.
Connor doing a great job of just staying in his rhythm right here. Just trying to get a feel for the spring Arbor hitters, and the count is now full.
Well, that's a great observation. Now, a good pitcher controls the game. Nothing happens till he decides to make it happen. And Connor right now slowing the game down a little bit, staying under control. That's a key trait that not all pitchers have.
Yeah, definitely. And, when you kind of go into players, he does walk yet another batter. Now runners on first and second, but, when you're talking about, pitchers just trying to control the game, you don't really want them to overthink it. And one of the things that you said earlier in this game when Coach Frame went out there is just, sometimes as a coach, you just want to go out there and clear their mind, just kind of make them relax just a little bit. But I feel like, there are a lot of people now in this day and age, and they're just overthinking everything they do. Then they get tense, they get nervous. But really, you pitch and you play so much better just when you're loose. You're really not thinking about it. You see what the catcher wants you to do. You see if you like it. You pitch it. Then you let your defense do the work.
I agree. Absolutely. Everybody talks about being in the zone. And when they ask players who are really on a roll and they're in the zone, what are you thinking about? What do they always say?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely. You're letting it happen.
Yep. Now at the plate for Spring Arbor is going to be number 10, Kyle Harris.
Kyle Harris 0 for 2 so far with 1 strikeout. Squares the bunt, but pulls it back.
Really just trying to move the base runners over just one base. One runner is in scoring position, but trying to move him over from second to third.
Yeah, this is Spring Arbor baseball, playing small ball and executing. That's what they're good at. Connor executes a good pitch right there.
And it's so hard, sometimes you just think about jamming the batter just a little bit when they go up to bunt, because if that goes lower on the barrel, who knows where that's going to go, if that's going to pop up or if he's just going to nick it and foul ball.
That's what you'd like to see right here.
Count is 1-1 for Connor. Bunt is laid. West goes all the way over to first, and he gets the first out.
Very nice play by Connor West right there. Being left-handed, it's a little bit tougher play. He's got to go over, turn, makes a good throw. Big situation in the game right here. It's 5 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for the Foresters, 4 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for Spring Arbor, and they're threatening.
Definitely, with 2 base runners now in scoring position. Now at the plate for the Cougars is going to be number 14, Nick Harris. One of the 6 Harrises on the baseball team.
Batting first, Harris. Batting second, Harris. No, I'm teasing. I once played a team in a state tournament. The opposing team, they had 4 guys named Caracas. 4 of them. It's like, really? Are they all brothers?
Oh, my goodness. Well, especially in the high school play, you'll have a lot of siblings and a lot of cousins. Shea is able to get the baseball, able to pull the baseball down, gets a rocket throw to the catcher.
That's great execution right there. Connor West making a great pitch. Guy fouls it off, and that's not an easy play.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, especially for a first baseman when you're all the way back there towards right field and you're out of play, really, you got to catch it and you got to know exactly what you're doing with it.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you because it was so far to the right. Usually, if it's behind the first baseman, it's a second baseman's ball. But that ball is so far foul that only Shea had a chance. And let me tell you, Turner made a good throw. Heads
Definitely.
Up baseball.
Yeah, I mean, he got it right to Crowley's chest. I mean, it was right there. Crowley turned and faced the runner, and you saw that he went right back to third base. Smart move by him as well.
Absolutely. We got Coach Abbott right now out there, and we haven't said much about Coach yet, but let me tell you, when we talk about pitchers controlling the game and being low-key and being confident, it starts with the pitching coach. Now, it starts with the whole coaching staff. Coach Frame, both of them, and Brian, Coach Flick, they all do a great job. But Brian with the pitchers is always low-key. Nothing bothers him, and that really builds confidence in his pitchers.
Now up to the plate for Spring Arbor is going to be number 30, Emilio Perez. Perez will take the first pitch, and it will be 1-0.
Emilio's a big guy out there, and he's got some power.
Yeah, especially late into their lineup, really looking for that power to really pull through, especially, winding out the lineup, and then, coming back in with your first hitter. And really, Harris, not Harris. James Hull, he does a great job, and he's had a decent game so far tonight batting for Spring Arbor.
Yeah, Spring Arbor, they're always tough outs, as we talked about earlier. They execute at bats. They execute at the plate. This is a big time in the baseball game right now. 2 outs, 2 on. Let's see what Connor does.
Just a little outside. Kind of going to go to 2-1 with 2 outs here for the Foresters. Connor West just trying to get out of this inning. Almost snagged by the second baseman. Finally getting pulled in. Really just a huge hit for Perez. That was definitely needed to tie this ball game up at 5.
Yeah, let's credit Perez there with a good piece of hitting. I think that's a good pitch by Connor West. Perez just takes it the other way, and that's great hitting.
And it looks like the Spring Arbor coach is going to want a pinch runner for Perez. That pinch runner will be number 18, Colton Punches.
That does tie the baseball game, 5-all, here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, and another base runner in scoring position. So, I mean, he's going to be on third base. So, the Foresters need to be careful about their decisions here on the defensive side. But at the same time, there's 2 outs. So, you just really need to look at second or first, whatever's closest, whatever's the easiest.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in play right here. You've got a left-handed hitter. He could dump a bunt. He can go the other way. Obviously, they're in a running situation. You got first and third, but let me tell you, it's going to be tough to run on our catching.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't even know if you would want to try with Crowley. I mean, with 2 outs, I don't think you would even want to try to go to second because Crowley, he will gun you down very easily.
Absolutely. Fine, as we talked about earlier, a fine catcher.
West getting signs from his catcher. Going all the way over to first. Shea looking over at the third base runner.
Now here's the sign of respect. The fact that they probably are not going to run on Michael Crowley because the kid can flat out throw.
I mean, it's dangerous, I feel like, just because Huntington has 2 outs. I mean, you get stolen out. I mean, if you get thrown out stealing second, I mean, that's just the inning. But, I mean, I think that's also great respect for he's going to run.
Oh, that's good baseball. He's gone. Yes, sir.
That's a great job by the Huntington defense. Rounding up the end of the 5th half inning, the top of the 5th inning. When we come back, we'll have the bottom of the 5th, and the Foresters will be batting. Stay right here on FDN Sports.
So Fusion Media is kind of this idea to bring broadcasting and film production together. Just doing media, but maybe not in the news field or in the radio field as broadcasting was.
With Fusion Media, you're not stuck in this cookie cutter route to become a news anchor or a radio DJ. There's so much more you can do with it.
Fusion Media is a way to take those everyday experiences and bring them to the students now, in the moment.
I would say there's so many opportunities for you guys to make an instant impact. We have HTV, we have live stream, we have Fuse FM. Like, we're ready for you right now.
It's so exciting as a freshman to be able to come in and right away be doing hands-on things like being a part of HTV and the radio station. And for a freshman coming in, that's so exciting to be able to do those things.
It's just really new. It's the newest idea that's been out. So no other school is going to offer a broadcast fusion media degree. We're the only one that does that. When you come to HU, you're able to really open your field and to be not just a reporter or not just a videographer, but to become someone who's multi-talented. So you can be on air, you can run a camera, you're kind of a one-man band sort of thing. You're really just given the team.
Back here at Huntington University, the game is tied at 5 at the bottom of the 5th inning. Huntington really just trying to come out and get a couple of runs here late in the 5th inning. Up to bat is going to be number 26, Michael Crowley. Made a great catch there at home and just trying to find the base runner just in a split second, and he ended up tagging him out.
there are some baseball truisms that always come about, and they always talk about when a guy makes a great play to end an inning, he usually is the guy who leads off at the plate the next inning, and it comes to fruition right here with Michael Crowley.
Most definitely. Crowley pops him up.
That's a major league pop-up.
First baseman number 30 for Spring Arbor, Emilio Perez, able to pull that ball down.
We've seen two pop-ups tonight, one from Shea Beecham and one from Michael Crowley, that were absolutely skied, major league type pop-ups. And what they'll tell you, if a scout comes to a baseball game and he wants to watch a kid see if he's got power, okay, he's not always going to hit a home run. The next thing they judge it by, all kidding aside, is how high the pop flies they hit.
Mm-hmm. Now to bat for the Forsters is going to be number 9, Andrew Natividad.
No, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Dylan Hendricks, part of that last play. I mean, Crowley makes a good throw, but Dylan's got to catch it, make a perfect throw back. Hats off to Dylan Hendricks.
And again, the accuracy of getting it down to your catcher is amazing. And Natividad will be out at first base. 2 outs.
That's a good play by Spring Arbor. The shortstop does a great job of charging the baseball, getting it out of his glove quickly, and the first baseman makes a good swipe tag. We got to give a little credit to the other team, too.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Although we are definitely Forster fans. We'll just make that clear right now.
Up to bat for the Forsters now is going to be number 22, Hunter Loosecamp.
Hunter has some power. Big, strong kid, and I've seen him put it out of here before.
Hunter is a junior for this Forster squad. Thought about swinging, but that is going to be low. 1-1 is the count. Hunter doing a great job of just laying off that low pitch. We'll swing at that one, and the miss, 1-2.
That's a great pitch by the lefty right there. Just turns it over, has a little natural tail, goes right out. It looked like a strike, but it wasn't. And that's what good pitchers do. They make pitches that look like strikes, but they don't end up strikes.
Yes,
wow.
Another swing and a miss for Hunter, and that will take us to the end of the 5th inning. Ball game is tied 5-5. Stay tuned here for more Forster baseball.
The Global Initiatives degree that we're offering is seeking to equip folks who are interested in applying a ministry education to cross-cultural work. So somebody who's looking to do holistic ministry, somebody who's looking to engage in the business for transformation or business as missions model would find some equipping through our Global Initiatives degree.
Our Global Youth Ministries degree is designed to prepare people for leadership in youth ministry, quite simply anywhere in the globe. It's for men and women who are already in youth ministry or for people who are simply preparing to lead youth ministry.
One of the things I like about the pastoral leadership track is that Luke and Karen, who worked on developing it, consulted with church leaders so that people preparing for ministry leadership in the church would have the skills and the knowledge that they need.
Some of what I'd want our program to be known for is being really clear-minded about linking our own program vision with the Lord's vision for His people and for the kingdom. What we want to do is be faithful to that which He's called us to. And some of that would be that we believe that the church of Jesus...
Back here at Forster Glen Park, the game is tied after 5. Top of the 6th inning, here we come. Spring Arbor now up to bat is going to be number 27, Francisco Ondina. And I want to welcome back Ryan Lockhart here on air with us. And just, I enjoyed having Jim Landrum coming in. He knows a lot about Huntington baseball, really knows his stuff. Just great to have that kind of leadership here in our community and just their willingness to come out and help us out every once in a while. Right fielder for Huntington, number 19, Dalton Combs brings in that pop fly.
Yeah, and listening to both of you and Mr. Landrum, Noah, there was some really great things. Listening to both of you, like some things that I would like to kind of keep up. And I mean, I don't know if I could be half the commentator Mr. Landrum is, because I think he's just out of this world myself.
Yeah, he really knows the stuff about Forster baseball, and really just appreciate him sharing what he knows with us, and just makes us all that much more better. Now at the plate for Spring Arbor is going to be number 8, James Hall. James has had a pretty decent game so far, and it's going to be an 0-2 count on him with 1 out. Connor does a great job getting a low curve in there and makes Hall go for it.
Seems like as soon as that ball hit the ground, Noah, Mike Crowley was right on top of it, and I don't even think Hall had a chance to turn to even attempt to run.
I was going to say there was just a little bit, miscommunication from himself to saying, oh, wow, he just dropped the ball and I just swung. But, yeah, again, Crowley did a great job of picking that ball right up and tagging him. Count is 0-1 for number 1, Kyle Sylvie. I'm sorry, actually, Chris Triplett. Triplett has had a decent game so far over at third base. He's caught a couple pop flies. 2-1 is the count now for him.
Like you mentioned, Noah, defensive-wise, Triplett's had a pretty good game, but starting off the day, he struggled a little bit offensive-wise as they did have a strikeout. So it'll be nice to see how he'll hopefully pick it up for not only his own game, but for Spring Arbor here in this middle half of the game.
West makes a really good pitch right in there, making it 2-2. West just gets a little outside. Now it'll be a full count with 2 outs. Trying to get a 1-2-3 inning going for the Foresters. West with the pitch, and it will be a ball high. Base runner now on first base. Up to the plate now for Spring Arbor will be number 21, Tyler Reed.
And over there on first, Noah, Triplett's got enough speed that he can maybe steal second here. So, Crowley is going to be on his toes here, watching, waiting for maybe that pickoff.
Triplett leading off by a good amount. Count 1-0 now for number 21, Reed. And West able to get Triplett out at first. Mentioned that a little earlier, just getting off the base by a good amount. Takes us to the end of the first half of the 6th inning. Final score is 5-5. We will be right back. Here at Forster Glen Park, we got a tie ball game, 5-5. 5.5 innings completed. And now number 5 for the Foresters will be at bat, Dylan Hendricks. Dylan, third baseman, senior out of Lyons, Ohio. Ball outside to start off the bottom of the 6th. Nice hit, but just a little foul. Trying to pull that baseball just a little bit.
And still out there on the mound for Spring Arbor, Noah, is Brody Harris. As looking at stats, he is in the top 3 of their pitchers for innings pitched. So you do expect this Brody Harris, that is, to go deep as he sends one to center field. It'll go back to the warning track. He'll round first and stay at second. That is a big hit there, Noah.
Yeah, number 27, Ondino, really just trying to corral that baseball and finally got it in. Now up to the plate for the Foresters will be number 20, Jamar Weaver. Hendricks did a great job of just knowing exactly how far he hit it, and he directly rounded first base and went on to second. Great job by him.
And no, if you remember last time Weaver was up, he did get a third base, so you got to keep that in mind as we see a potential pickoff here by Brody Harris. That'll be safe. But you got to keep that in mind because Weaver can hit the distance, but he's also got the speed to make up for it if it does stay in play.
Hendricks just trying to be kept close to second base. Got a pretty good lead off.
We'll see the shortstop won't venture far from Hendricks out there at second, though, Noah, so be interesting there.
Bunt was shown, but a little rip by Jamar. That does go out of play, so 0-1 is the count. Weaver just trying to figure out what his pitch is going to be against Harris. You know, with Harris pitching 6 innings now, most players should be pretty comfortable coming up to the plate against him. Bunt will be shown by Jamar, and it will be laid down in a foul ball. So now it's going to be 0-2 for the count.
And with Weaver here, Noah, you almost want to say he wants to send it down the third base line to pull that third baseman in and make him make a play on that. Because if the first baseman comes in, he can potentially throw it over to third base, get Hendricks. If he does run, you can get him out. So Weaver kind of wants to send this down the third base line. I would much rather have the shortstop running over there trying to cover than I would the third baseman himself.
Jamar now waiting on the pitch. It will be a ball low, 1-2.
You got to think, no, if Weaver does get this ball in play and both men are safe on base, no matter where they are, with Dalton Combs on deck, that's got to be huge for both of these guys, as Combs does have a lot of power behind his swing.
And there's going to be Weaver putting it in the right center field. Hendricks will come on in, trying to score, and he gets there easily as the first baseman is there to stop the ball. Still would have been a little late, but again, Huntington going up 6-5 here late in this 6th inning.
You know, no, I don't know if Spring Arbor's fans like that, but the Blue Frog in Huntington's dugout, he loved that one.
Yeah, you know what? We'll really have to try to do some research on what this whole story is on that thing, because that is pretty wacky. Dalton Combs is up to bat for the Foresters, and you know, like you said, he's had a heck of a day so far in the first game and in the second game. So we'll just have to see what he pulls out. Hopefully, it will be another base hit. Again, Dalton Combs, he is one of the 11 seniors on this baseball team. Thought about going. Weaver steals second and gets there. number 14, Nick Harris not able to corral that baseball in time, but I think even if he did, Jamar had a really good jump on that. Dalton now stepping into batter's box, ready for this next pitch.
Combs is almost a guy, Noah, I don't think as a defense-wise Spring Arbor, I don't think you think he's going to bunt at all because, like we've mentioned previously, he does have power.
Some action going on in the Spring Arbor bullpen. Can't quite see who is warming up for Spring Arbor, but I'm sure that he will be coming in the next inning or so, or depending on how this inning is going to go, possibly even this inning. Combs shows the bunt, place that down, and it will go foul. Combs, really just a great hitter for this Forster squad. Now it's 0-2. Guessing he will not be bunting at this ball, just knowing how well he hits the ball and how well he's doing today. You really want to just kind of keep his confidence going for future games and for later on in this game as well.
Yeah, and with the home run he had in the first game and a couple hits in this game, we'll see a ball call there by the umpire in the middle of the field. You got to think Holmes' average will soar over 300 now.
Dalton having a great day, trying to improve on that great day. Right here during this next pitch, 1-2 is the count. Harris now with the pitch. Ball outside, 2-2. Comes doing a great job of just waiting on his pitch and just really battling against Harris.
I don't know what the official pitch count is for Brody Harris, Noah, but he's got to be up there in pitches because, like you and Mr. Landrum both mentioned earlier, he's pitched a lot of 3-2s, just a lot of deep pitch counts. So that might be a big reason why they're going to the bullpen. As we see one sent to left field, it'll stay in play. We'll have a runner come in. He will be safe. And Combs will be at second with a little shimmy shake there, Noah.
Yeah, Weaver able to score for your Foresters. Lead now up to 2, 7-5 here late in the sixth inning.
Once again, we'll see the Blue Frog come out and give a little headbutt there. Another run was scored.
Combs just improving on his already fabulous day. And now number 15 for the Foresters, Adam Roser at the plate for the Foresters. Trying to make his day even better. Go for a bunt, but pulled it back. 1-0 for Roser.
You know, Noah, earlier in the day, the first game ended in a 10-6 win by your Foresters. It was a little bit hot out at the time, but as the nights cooled off, I don't think these Foresters have, as we'll see a bunt laid down that'll go foul. But I feel like these Foresters are still hot today. The bats are still swinging like crazy almost.
Yeah, definitely. They, were keeping up early on with Spring Arbor. They're in the first few innings, and then all of a sudden, just the Foresters started exploding here later on. But back to Tuesday's game, first game they won 6-0. Bats were absolutely on fire. Second game, they got off to a really slow start, and that's one of the things that really hurt them early on, is I think their confidence was just kind of that far up. And so they were just trying to keep that going, but were unable to and ended up losing in 10 innings. Count now 1-2 against number 15, Roser.
With the man on second, you definitely think Roser wants to drive him in or at least get him to third base.
Yeah, and especially because there are no outs here so far in this sixth inning. Harris with the windup and the pitch. Ball in play. Going out to center field, number 27. Francisco able to bring the ball down and be thrown in. Combs not able to go to third base, so he will stay there at second.
And not saying that Combs is slow at all, Noah, but that ball just wasn't hit deep enough for Combs to make any advancement on it.
Number 24, Shea Beecham, coming up to the plate for the Foresters. We'll have to see what he does here. And again, just another great day for him. I believe he has 5 RBIs for the day. Really a powerful swing right there. He was aiming for the fences. Shea, a really powerful senior for this Forester squad. Having a great year so far. Almost with 20 RBIs for the season. Just fouls it off to the left. Count is 0-2 for the senior with 1 out.
And you know, no, Shea's an advanced enough hitter to where he knows what pitches to swing for, what pitches to really get some good power behind and try to send deep. He's not a guy you'll see swinging out of the strike zone very often.
Yeah, for a powerful hitter, he is a very smart hitter. Shea puts a bat on the ball, goes to the second baseman, now over to first, gets him out. That is 2 outs for the Cougars. Number 2 for Spring Arbor. Driscoll did a great job of just controlling that baseball and making a nice, easy throw over to his first baseman. Number 30, Emilio Perez. But now up to bat for your Foresters. It's going to be number 34, Tyler Zemski. Another great baseball player for the Foresters. Again, transferred from Ball State University to Huntington. It's going to be a quick count, 0-1 count for Zemski.
And you know, Noah, I think the biggest thing you can say about Zemski is that his on-base percentage is .535. That is a really good percentage for really any baseball player. That shows he gets balls in play, and he knows what to do when he does that, as we'll see another foul tip to the Huntington dugout there.
You know, one of the things that we've seen a lot in this game is a lot of bunt attempts and a lot of foul bunt attempts. And so you got to think that, that's going to be one of the things that Huntington and Spring Arbor both will be working on here in the next coming weeks, because I can't tell you how many bunts have been tried to be laid down but have just gone completely foul. Count now to 1-2. Shea doing a great job of, Zemski doing a great job of just waiting for his pitch. Not trying to do anything too awkward out of his ordinary. Zemski now waiting for the pitch and pass ball. And he will be safe. Combs will be safe. Now 8-5 for the Foresters. A 3-run lead.
Great job there by Combs to recognize the wild pitch and score on that.
And this is the biggest lead for either team. Biggest lead for Spring Arbor was only 1 run, but Huntington has done a great job of just battling back. 2-2 is the count for Zemski. Harris with the pitch. And another ball. Full count. 2 outs.
It almost seems to me, Noah, that Harris is just, his arm has to be tired pitching almost 7 full innings now. So, you got to think he's starting to get tired. Maybe he's just got to that point where his control isn't to where he would like it. So, we might see this bullpen, we might see the guy get called up here pretty soon. As we'll see a hit by pitch there. Number 34, Tyler Zemski, will take first base.
Up to the plate for the Foresters will be number 26, Michael Crowley, the catcher. But now the Spring Arbor coach will be coming out to the mound, and we will be having a switch of pitcher. We'll go to a quick commercial break with Spring Arbor just switching pitchers, and we will be right back here at Forster Glen Park.
The alumni office at Huntington University is really here to stay in touch with the alumni and graduates, as well as provide resources to them so they can reconnect. It's just really important to us that we keep in touch with them and then let them know what's going on campus as well, things that they might want to continue to stay involved with or maybe participate in an alumni gathering.
I started getting involved as an alumni board member, and we would do various projects throughout the university, throughout the year. Just being able to meet people who've graduated and to listen to their stories about the university, back then the college, and how it's grown today, it's really an honor and a privilege to be a Forester. I knew that this was going to be the university that I was going to graduate from, and I have friends here that will be lifelong.
We have a lot of people that ask us, what does DMA mean?
That's a really good question.
More than just, the study of film or animation.
DMA is digital media arts.
It's a relatively new term. I mean, it's been a program here at Huntington for probably 8 years.
It is a look into a whole new culture.
We are the fastest growing major on campus, and I think that has to do with the times.
The famous quote by Plato that the storytellers change the culture.
This is a time in the history.
Welcome back to Forster Glen Park. 2 outs for the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher for the Cougars will be number 26, Andrew Wright. Andrew is a junior. He's a righty, and he is coming out of Eaton Rapids, Michigan. Steele will be coming, and he is safe at second.
Noah, Wright struggled just a little bit on the year as he does have a 6.43 RA. Not really where you would like it. You'd like it around the 3.4, 4 at the very most. So it'll be nice to see if he can calm this team down, maybe shut down the Foresters a little bit, and help get Spring Arbor back into this game.
Crowley is at the plate for your Foresters. The senior catcher doing a great job here tonight. He's coming in at Chesterton, Indiana. Next game will be tomorrow versus Spring Arbor. That's going to be at 1 o'clock, and we will have that for you right here on FDN Sports. They are calling for a good amount of rain tomorrow, so it will be interesting to see if they will actually be able to play this game. If you are not following HU Baseball on Twitter, that is where you can get a lot of the baseball updates. Again, that will be baseball_HU. Count is 1-1 for Crowley.
I'm a part of our track and field team here at Huntington, Noah, and I know we have a huge meet tomorrow over at Indiana Wesleyan, just about an hour away from us. So we are not excited about this rain at all. I don't know if you were ever in track and field, but it is not fun to run or throw in the rain by no means.
Yeah, it does not sound like fun at all. I was part of our golf team, and golfing in the rain, I know that part, and that part is awful.
I don't think I can name a sport on hand where anything in the rain competing as it is fun. As we'll see a strike there against Crowley. Move it up to a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
2-2-2 on Crowley. Crowley just trying to find his pitch that he can take a good rip at. With the pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball dropped by the catcher. And Crowley will be thrown out at first base. At the end of 6, your Forsters lead the Cougars 8-5 here at Forster Glen Park in Huntington, Indiana. When we come back, we will have the 7th inning right here for you on FDN Sports.
Chapel is important because it gives us that moment as a corporate body to come together, to be unified under one sole purpose, and that purpose being the worship of God. You know, we have many different majors, many different job responsibilities that we do here, but the one thing that we all have in common is our love and affinity for the Lord. And it's important because it gives us an opportunity to express that at the same time in the same location. And so there are some elements that are important to have as a foundation in any service. Number one is Jesus. If Jesus isn't magnified, glorified, honored, and worshiped in any setting, then that's not the type of service that we want to have demonstrated here. So Christ has to be the chief cornerstone of everything that we do in the service. It flows around, it receives its instruction from Christ. So my real answer is Jesus. Jesus has to be present, right? And we who facilitate, whether it's Joyful Noise, whether it's myself speaking or other speakers, I hope that we are being guided and led by the Holy Spirit. So, yeah, that's all I would say is good.
My name is James Parker and I'm from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. I'm majoring in exercise science under the Department of Kinesiology.
My name is Paris Williams and my major is sports and exercise studies.
Our department really comes in two different areas. The exercise science area, which is interested in the medical.
Here at Forster Glen Park, Huntington University has an 8-5 lead against the Spring Arbor Cougars. At the bat for the Cougars now is going to be number 21, Tyler Reed. Tyler, right fielder, senior out of Brooklyn, Michigan. Transfer from Jackson College. Just trying to finish up his senior career, his senior year at Spring Arbor with a good season. Count 1-1.
Pitch looked like it just tipped off of the top of Mike Crowley's glove there. Don't really see that happen too often for Crowley, Noah.
Yeah, definitely. Crowley, he is usually a backstop. 1-2. Now for Reed. Connor West just trying to get through the rest of this game. Not sure if Huntington will bring out a closer or not, but there is a little bit of action in the Forster's bullpen, so I'm guessing that they will bring out a closer here in the next inning or two. Ball flung out to center field all the way back to the backstop. Just trying to get the ball in at this point, and that will be a double for Reed. Number 20, Weaver, did a great job of hustling back to that baseball, but that was just ripped by Reed.
That ball just sailed over Weaver's head. Now, I feel like if that was to right or left field, that may have been out of the park. Straight back in center field is 400, which you don't see a lot of guys that can hit that far.
Yeah, definitely, and especially here at Forster Glen Park. It is really far back there. I mean, you saw how far Weaver had to just go back and just sprint for that baseball. Count is 0-1 for number 4, Connor Lingrich. Lingrich puts it into center field again. Diving catch was made by Weaver. Oh, it was no catch. it's really getting tough to see as it being dark outside. The umpire is calling it a no catch, but Weaver trying to plead his case.
We'll see Huntington's head coach, Mike Frame, come out to speak to the umpire.
And it's just tough with the umpire being on closer to the third base side and trying to make a call that's happening all the way out in center field. At the same time, I mean, did you really just see what happened? I mean, we're all the way back here, so I mean, it's really tough to see. Frame trying to plead his case. Now both the umpires will come together and try to talk about this just a little bit. Not sure how much help the head umpire is going to be behind the plate, but I guess we'll have to see what happens.
And in Spring Arbor's favor, no, you definitely hope this call stands because a man on first and third it is, and a guy up to bat, that's just a great situation to get some runs back on the board. Hopefully tie this game back up as the Foresters do lead 8-5. But on the opposite side for Huntington, I mean, you got to hope this call gets reversed and hopefully they send the guy back to second and send the guy back to that actually.
And the umpire has called him out. And so now, and Spring Arbor, honestly, they have every right to argue this because you cannot call the umpire that's behind home plate out and try to make a call that's happening all the way out in center field. I mean, that is just, that's just tough.
Myself, I did not see the ball hit the ground. But at the same time, like you mentioned, we are way far back.
And that is just going to be tough. Spring Arbor fans definitely not happy about that. And really, I mean, it'd be tough. I mean, as an umpire in this case, I mean, you're going to say that, I mean, people are going to say that you made a wrong call in both cases. Spring Arbor coach will really starting to lay into the head umpire. But again, he has every right to this case because really he does. He has a very big case.
That call will get reversed, Noah, as we see the runner trout back from third to second. That will be 2 outs, if I'm correct, for Spring Arbor.
Umpire still, he was writing something down into his book. There's a lot going on. About ready to resume play here in Forster Glen Park. That will be 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Man on second for Spring Arbor. Foul ball now right behind home plate.
That change of play right there, Noah, could be big for the finish of this game, as that takes one man out of scoring position and takes another man off the base. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on how that'll change and affect the rest of this game.
Number 2, Jack Driscoll is at the plate, batting for Spring Arbor. Connor West just trying to keep everything else that's been going on out of his head and just trying to play his game, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Trying to slow the pace down just a little bit, taking his time. Pitch is on its way, and ball 2.
West's last couple pitches have been just a tad bit low, as they've been both called balls here with the 2-1 count, Noah.
2-1 with 1 out. Foresters lead 8-5. Pitch is underway. Another foul ball. 2-2 now is the count for Driscoll. Just trying to make a smart at-bat right here. Trying to get on base. Trying to kind of chisel away that lead that the Foresters have gotten over the past inning. Ball is in play. Second baseman passes it over to the pitcher and an out. Now the home plate umpire is going to overcall that. Actually, I'm not sure. It looked like the home plate umpire was calling him safe at first. But now I have absolutely no idea what's going on, because now Mike Frame is going to go out to the pitcher's mound.
The runner that advanced to third went back to second.
Yeah, I'm just really confused. There is a lot of action that's just been going on here in the past 15, 20 minutes that I don't even know what's going on now. Now the Spring Arbor coach is trying to get into the conversation with the umpires, but them just kind of saying, let us talk about it for a little bit, and that's exactly what they need to do. For some reason, I don't know what the reasoning that they need to talk about this is. Really just a confusing inning, I guess, for us, huh, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm not really sure here, as we'll see the umpires both talk to Huntington's head coach, Mike Frame.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to go safe at first, but I'm not sure why the third base runner now going over to second and now back to third. But now he has been called out at first, I believe.
Looks like the whole Huntington infield is confused here.
Yeah, because now substitutions, maybe?
I believe they called him out, so that'll be the end of the inning.
Nope. Actually, there's going to be a new substitution, and there's going to be a new pitcher for Huntington University. So we will just stay right here, just trying to talk about what's going on. And the new pitcher for Huntington University will be number 17, Blake Gray. He's a sophomore out of Warren, Indiana. He actually graduated from Huntington North High School, so local guy will come out here and try to finish out the game for the Foresters.
And you don't see a lot of innings from Gray now, as he only pitches about 5.2 so far this year. So maybe just looking to get West off the mound. Maybe they thought he was giving up a couple more runs than they would have liked.
Yeah, definitely an interesting turn of events here, with the umpires really not sure what is going on with the runner at first, and then before that, just if that was a catch or not, out in center field by Weaver. I mean, really just not sure, and really these umpires need to get full control of this game, or it could turn for the worse for the Spring Arbor coach or even for Coach Frame, because really both coaches are getting pretty frustrated, and they have every right to be.
Yeah, and I believe both those calls that were made, the catch and non-catch, will impact the rest of this game.
And so now the runner, there is a runner at first, so I guess he was called safe. So 1 out for the Foresters. The batter for Spring Arbor at right now is number 10, Kyle Harris. Kyle is a sophomore out of Waterford, Michigan. 0-2.
There is only 1 out also. So with that runner on third, we'll have to keep an eye on him if any ball is put in play.
And that's a strikeout for number 17, Blake Gray. That's how you make an impact, when you just come right on into the game and you get a strikeout right from the get-go.
That's a huge strikeout there by Blake Gray. That'll be 6 on the year for him so far.
Up to the plate for Spring Arbor, number 14, Nick Harris. 0-1 count for Nick Harris. This foul tipped that ball off to the left. Just trying to get a grip on Blake Gray's pitching strategy. Ball in the dirt. But 26 Crowley able to corral that ball. Gray at the mound and with the pitch. Stealing second. Now home. And he's going to be called safe at home. Crowley saying that he tagged him way before he hit the base. Now, if he did tag him, he was definitely out. But I don't believe he tagged him just from our point of view.
I think if he did make that tag, it was just a second too late, Noah. Still a great play there by Crowley to try to get the man at second, but just gave up that run to make it a 8-6 game in favor of your Foresters.
I was going to say, nonetheless, great play.
I think the thing that makes this even more exciting from a baseball standpoint is now you have a quicker runner on second base. So a ball that's played in the outfield, that could potentially bring him in or even to third base in better scoring position.
Number 14, Harris, was hit by the pitch, so he goes on to first. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Just trying to finish this game out. Game is being played to 9 innings, so we're going to have just a little bit more baseball for you.
With that run scored and these couple guys on base, it seems that Spring Arbor's bench has got a little bit of life in it. Getting a little bit rowdy over there now as we see a strike called there.
Number 18 for Spring Arbor is going to be Alex Hawley. He's going to come in and pinch hit for the Cougars. Strike 2 is called. 0-2 with 2 outs. Eight to 6. Your Foresters still lead over the Cougars. Gray trying to finish this inning out. Umpire saying that was a ball. Foresters thought that the inning was over. Really, really close pitch. Called a ball. 1-2 for the Foresters.
The whole Foresters team, started moving toward the dugout there. So I believe there was a consensus. They all thought it was an out.
Just outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs for the Foresters. Trying to end this thing.
The thing you got to keep in mind about Hawley, his average might only be 175. As we see one fouled up, I think that just hit the top of the press box, Noah. But as his average is only 175, he does have 4 home runs on the year, so that is a huge reason why he's pinch hitting right now.
Foresters really just need to get this inning over with, and there it is. There's the strikeout they've been looking for. After 7.5 innings, Actually, 6.5 innings. Your Foresters still lead 8-6. We'll be right back here at Forest Glen Park with some more baseball. We'll be right back. Back here at Forest Glen Park, your Foresters lead the Cougars 8-6. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. Long game here at Huntington University after a long day of school. Really would be nice if leading into the weekend the Foresters could get a couple of wins under their belt. They've got one already. Now just looking for that second one. Up to bat for the Foresters is going to be number 9, Andrew Natividad.
A nice thing to see, Noah, is that most of the crowd that was here for the first game that was played, most of them are still here. Some of them did leave, but it's nice to see your students still out here kind of showing out for the baseball players, and not only that, but for the team itself.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Definitely a good amount of students in the crowd, and it's always nice to see them coming out to support their baseball team here at Huntington. Count is 2-2 for Natividad, trying to continue his good day. Actually, it's going to go back to 1-2. It says on the scoreboard. Almost thought he was hit by a pitch, but still now 2-2. Natividad gets a bat on the ball, goes to the shortstop, and now back to first base, and Natividad is thrown out. First out for the Cougars. Cougars really just trying to finish out this half inning and just trying to get a couple more runs on the board. Huntington's biggest lead was 3 runs early on, but Spring Arbor able to get 1 run there at the top of the 7th.
And you got to think, if Spring Arbor can keep the Foresters here to 1 run at the most, even no runs this inning, they're still in striking distance to where they can still get. I don't think they're totally out of this game at all, by no means, Noah.
Most definitely. Only 2 runs separate the two teams. So Spring Arbor could definitely get those 2 runs back when they're batting. Now they just got to play smart defense. Now up to bat for the Foresters is going to be number 23, McLaughlin. And he will put it in the right field. Just a little ground ball. And he has got himself a single.
It's a great job to put it just outside of the second baseman to where he couldn't get to it. We'll see now if number 5, Dylan Hendricks, can do anything with the man on base here on first.
Hendricks, one of the seniors for the Foresters, and he is out of Lyons, Ohio. Graduated from Evergreen High School. Hendricks taking a pass ball, doing a great job of just laying off that ball. But also for the catcher for Spring Arbor, number 10, Harris did a great job of just keeping that ball in front of them. And really, as a catcher, that is your main goal, is to keep everything in front of you, no matter what kind of a pitch the pitcher's throwing at you. Just you got to keep the ball in front of you. So if you need to, you can scoop up that ball and throw it to a base. Count 1-1. Hendricks waiting for the pitch. Pitches away, and now going over to second base, stealing. Now he will be thrown out at second base, number 23, McLaughlin. Just got a little late of a start there and not able to get to second base, but Spring Arbor doing a great job of getting the glove on McLaughlin.
Great job there by Harris to throw him out, though. Great ball placement, as we'll have another ball there to put it up to a 3-1 count. 3-1 count, Noah. You're up at the plate. Are you swinging or are you letting a pitch come in?
I think one of the things that they have to look for is just if it's going to be their pitch. I mean, you know that the pitcher really just needs to throw a strike right here, but it's got to be close, and that is going to be outside. So number 5, Hendricks, gets himself a walk, and he is on first. Now up to the plate for the Foresters will be number 20, Jamar Weaver. Weaver doing a good job out there at center field. Made a diving catch earlier, caused some controversy, but they did end up saying that he made that catch, and just a great hustle by him. Weaver with the pitch, waiting for the pitch, and that pitch was in the dirt, so now it's a 1-0.
And with Hendricks on first, Noah, he's got enough speed that he can get to second, but I think with one of their runners just being thrown out, I feel as Huntington, you're not going to chance it because this could potentially be your third and final out.
That's definitely being that here in the second inning. And seventh inning, ball gets past third baseman, goes out to left field. So yet another hit for these Foresters. They now have 11 hits in this ball game.
Diving attempt there by Triplett, but just couldn't corral it.
Yeah, Triplett doing a great job of hustling for the ball, but not able to get to it in time. Out to the plate now for your Foresters will be number 19, Dalton Combs. Senior out of Monroe, Indiana, graduated from Adams Central High School. One of the rivalries from the high school that I graduated from, so great to see a local guy out here playing for Huntington and doing a lot of really great things. Especially tonight. Combs has just been absolutely on fire. Fouls it off.
I feel like almost every time we talk to somebody as we see the catcher run out to the pitcher, Noah, it's either Combs or Crowley. There's just a couple key guys on this team that they're just not the main part of the team, but they're guys that you look up to in situations where it's a close game like this, 8-6, your Foresters still leading. Those are guys you look to take control of this game and kind of step up along with other seniors and other players on this team.
Yeah, if he could get it. Yeah, his second home run of the day right here, that would be pretty impressive. But I don't think we're going to be looking out of that from him. We just need him to be putting it into play. And he takes one ball, so it's going to be 1-1 for the senior. Combs waiting for the pitch. It comes, and a big swing and a miss. 1-2 for Combs. Andrew Wright doing a great job of just controlling himself at the mound and doing a great job of just during this late situation down by 2, trying to put his team into some situations that his defense can just help him out on. Huntington's definitely getting the bat on the ball, though. Combs looks at it, 2-2. Spring Arbor's infield looking on their toes, really trying to figure out where Combs is going to hit the ball, because he has gotten the bat on the ball more times than one here in the last couple of games. Foul ball off of Combs. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs for the Cougars trying to finish out this inning.
Combs is definitely not holding back by no means on his swing, Noah, as his last 2 rips at the ball have both been maybe potential home runs if he got a good look at him.
Combs looks at yet another pitch. Full count for the senior. With 2 outs, you got to be thinking that both base runners will be going no matter what, because whatever this pitch comes with, either a ball or a strike, it doesn't matter. They're going to just be running. If it's a ball, they're going to be taking their base. If it's a strike, well, they're still running. They're still hustling.
Combs will ask for a little timeout here, Noah. But you got to be thinking in Combs' mind, this could potentially be his last at-bat. So you got to think in his mind, he's subconsciously thinking about sending one deep, taking these 2 guys in, and getting a bigger lead for your Foresters.
Definitely help him out. High ball. Both runners were running. So Combs will go to first. And bases will be loaded with 2 outs for the Foresters. Coach comes to the mound for the Cougars. No activity is going on in their bullpen, so he's just going to come out and talk to Wright and just hopefully calm him down just a little bit. Say, you got this. Just pitch your game. Just do what you've been doing all game. Because, honestly, Wright's been doing a decent job, and he can easily get himself out of this situation. Just trust your defense. And that's one of the big things as a pitcher, is just trusting your defense, throwing strikes, and giving your defense opportunities to really just get this game over with.
Yeah, no, with a big hit here from Adam Roser, his slugging percentage on the year is .442, so he's got potential to make this a really big game for the Foresters. The bases are loaded. This could be a huge at-bat as we'll see a wild pitch, and that'll bring a guy home. Your Foresters will put another one up on the scoreboard and advance both guys to third and second base.
That was Hendricks who scored for the Foresters, and now, that takes away the force outs for second and third and also home. So really, the only play for the defense to make is to the first base. It's really just another thing for Spring Arbor to look at and to recognize. But nonetheless, Roser is at the plate, and it's going to be 2-0 for the count.
That's a big call there, Noah. As you know, Roser thinking 2 balls, no strikes at all. He's got to be thinking maybe a swing on this one, maybe throw a little extra power behind it, try to extend this 6-9 lead they have currently.
And he thought about it right there. It was really tough because, it's 2-0, so you're not really sure if you should hit it, but I think that was really pretty much his pitch. That was right down the middle from our point of view. 2-1 is the count with 2 outs. Wright trying to end this inning for the Cougars. Ball right, going back to right, And it's going to be 9-6 at the end of 7 innings here at Forest Glen Park. When we come back, we will have the 8th inning for you right here on FDN Sport.
So one of the things that's kind of fun about our department is we have regular gatherings. We call them Friday at Fairchild's house, and Dr. Mark Fairchild hosts these gatherings for our majors. We get together, I guess it's about once a month.
First I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, we're gonna go hang out at a professor's house. But for my Greek class, he offered extra credit if we would go. So I was like, it's worth it. I'll take some friends with me and try it out. And it was a ton of fun.
I think that's one thing that's kind of unique about Huntington. We really are able to joke and get to know each other outside of the classroom on a personal level. We really become friends, I think, with our students.
The experience of being able to sit in a professor's house and engage in scholarly.
Back here at Forest Glen Park, your Foresters have widened the lead yet again, 9-6. So the lead is 3. Up to bat for Spring Arbor is going to be number 27, Francisco Andina. Excuse me. I've been getting that wrong all night. I can't get his last name right, and I apologize to him for that. Count is now 1-0.
I think the big thing in this situation for Spring Arbor, Noah, is they need something on the board, something to show them and get them back in this game. Maybe get some momentum coming into this last inning coming up. So that'll be something huge that even if they get 1 run on the board and maybe stop the Foresters in the second half of this inning, that could be big for the final inning and set up maybe a huge inning for both teams.
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to gain some confidence now. Spring Arbor really just needs that confidence. Count 1-2 against number 27, Francisco.
Quick shout out to a friend of mine that's been one of our viewers for the whole game, Brady Gerke. Glad to see some hometown guys watching the game, as we'll have a swinging strikeout there. That'll be out number 1 on the board.
Definitely needed by the Foresters, just trying to get through this inning. Up to bat for Spring Arbor is going to be number 8, James Hall. So we are back at the top of the lineup.
No, I believe that there's some March Madness tournament action going on tonight. You got any score updates for us on that? I believe South Carolina's playing, as we'll see a ball hit by third baseman Navidad. That'll be a first base hit, put a runner on base.
Yeah, South Carolina is actually leading Baylor 57-39 with a little over 6 minutes to go there in that second half. But Butler ended up getting beat by North Carolina 92-80. So a tough loss for the Indiana team. Butler. A couple other really good games going on tonight.
I know our very own Logan Hunt, if you know anything about the guy, he wanted a huge Butler win there. Hopefully North Carolina can get upset in his favor.
Count is 1-0. Up to bat for Spring Arbor is going to be number 1, Chris Triplett. He's had a decent night over at the third base side for Spring Arbor. Just trying to hustle as much as possible. And another big thing that I think we really need to pay attention to is Norm the Forester. Now, through the last, I would say, couple of weeks, maybe about a month or so, Norm, he actually was in a mascot challenge for the Crossroads League. Ended up getting second place on Twitter. This is all just polls on Twitter. He ended up getting second place in the Crossroads League, but now he is in the finals for the national contest. So on Twitter on Monday, go to Huntington Sports, HU Sports, or any other HU page that we have, and vote for Norm. This is absolutely huge exposure for Huntington and also for Norm. Norm has never made it to this far in any of these kind of competitions. So good job, Forster Nation, on that.
I believe Norm is going up against Pikey the Pike, if I'm correct, Noah. We'll see a ball put in play here, and that will clear the fence as we have a home run for Spring Arbor. That is a 2-run shot. That'll bring this game to within 1 run, so things are a little bit more interesting than they were previously, Noah.
Yeah, definitely. This game, you were even talking about it earlier, it could switch just like that, and now Huntington only has a 1-run lead with number 21, Tyler Reed, coming up to bat. Tyler Reed having a pretty decent couple of games here today, wanting to really just pull through for his team with 1 out here in this 8th inning.
You definitely got to think spirits are majorly high on Spring Arbor's side here. As we see the pitch, it'll be a strike.
0-1 is the count for Reed. Really just trying to make some smart decisions here late in this ball game versus Huntington. A big swing and a miss by Reed. Again, just a reminder, tomorrow Huntington University and Spring Arbor will go up against each other yet again at 1 o'clock, and we will have that right here for you on FDN Sports. Ball in the dirt. Count goes to 1-2.
Bringing this into a 1-run game, Noah, how do you feel that Spring Arbor can ride this momentum and maybe even tie up this game?
Yeah, Spring Arbor, I think all it is, and really Jim Landrum talked about his confidence, but there's a big bomb to left field, and there's yet another home run. That home run was hit by Tyler Reed, and Ryan, we have a tie ball game here at the top of the 8th inning.
That ball was gone, Noah. That's one of those pitches right when you hear it hit contact with the bat. It is just gone as you see Spring Arbor's going crazy now. They have Arbor right to 3 runs and about, 2-3 pitches? I mean, that's just great.
Definitely great for the Cougars, but we will be having a pitching change, so we will take a break right now as Huntington will prepare yet another pitcher on the mound. So stick right here with us for the rest of this 8th inning.
If you look at a variety of the research regarding the top skill sets that employers are looking for, communication always ranks top 5. Many times it's the top 3. These are skills that are far more important, not only in job, but in life, in family context, in social context, in professional contexts.
One thing that's different about Huntington University as a Christian college is that we have a journalism major. Other Christian universities and the Council of Christian Colleges and Universities have a communication major in which you then sub-specialize in these different areas. We have an actual major in journalism, an actual major in public relations, an actual major in communication studies.
Teachers try to incorporate different aspects of like the Bible into or core curriculum. There's so many things that can spark, excitement, enthusiasm. But here you're reminded that in all of that fluff, in all of that glam, that Christ is the center and Christ is core.
And back here at Forest Glen Park, we will have your action as your Huntington Foresters against the Spring Arbor Cougars. Ryan Lockhart joined by Noah Tobias here. We have another call to the bullpen as we will have Caleb Landrum now in the game. His father was on here, called a little bit of the game with Noah. I feel like that was a great experience for all of us, especially you, Noah. Landrum so far on the year, his ERA is 4.15 as we see a early ball there.
Caleb Landrum did end up closing the first game, and now he's able to have the opportunity to close the second game. Ball crushed into left field, and that's going to be another home run for Spring Arbor. So now they go up 10-9. This is just a rally inning for Spring Arbor. They are just crushing the ball.
And I believe the last 6 pitches, Noah, I think there's been at least 4 points up on the board. Spring Arbor is just crazy right now. This has to be the momentum you wanted as they now lead your Foresters 10-9. Just a great shot there. Just another one of those pitches. I think when we both heard it hit, it's kind of, you didn't want it to be, but it was gone.
Oh, that one especially, though. And another hit right down the middle of the field by number 2 for Spring Arbor, Jack Driscoll.
You know, Mike Frame was hoping with this pitching change that it might slow some of this momentum, just get a different pitcher in there, a different look. But hopefully Landrum can kind of slow down these guys and maybe quiet these bats, because right now they are smoking hot, Noah.
Yeah, I think part of it is he did appear in that first game, and so they're already used to a little bit of what he has to, of what he can bring to the table. So really, that is just really tough for Spring Arbor, actually for Huntington, just trying to use all of their gadgets and gears that they've got in the bullpen. Count is 0-2 against number 10, Kyle Harris.
We'll see a pickoff attempt there, Noah. Little insider information for you. When your Foresters faced Mount Vernon Nazarene just the other day, they were in a similar situation where they were up the majority of the game, but Mount Vernon come back late and upset your Foresters. See another pickoff, but he'll be safe again. So, I mean, your Foresters have been in this situation before. We talked they have 11 seniors. This is where you look for those guys to step up, take control of this game, kind of calm down the troops, as to say, and rally the troops maybe even now that they're down a run. We see another pop fly here to center field, about shortstop depth, as your shortstop number 15, Adam Roser, will control that and bring that one in. That'll be 2 outs for your Foresters, for Spring Arbor,
Yeah, Roser really had to travel back just into a little bit of the outfield to track down that pop fly. Up to bat now for Spring Arbor will be number 14, Nick Harris. Count is 1-0 as he laid off that ball. Nick really just trying to keep the bats going. Foul ball. 1-1 now. So as he's trying to keep the bats going, Huntington's own Caleb Landrum just trying to end this inning, because Huntington really needs this to be ended, as Spring Arbor has scored 4 runs in the top of the 8th. Landrum now with the pitch. Player stealing base. And the ball did not go inside shortstop's glove, so that base runner at second base is safe.
That'll make things a little bit more interesting, as we still have 2 outs here, Noah. a 2-1 count. You got to think with that runner on second, maybe you're thinking put a ball in play here and get him in. I mean, if it's far enough in the outfield to where it's still in play, you got to send that guy home, I would almost say. We'll see another ball here.
Yeah, really, it's been tough for Spring Arbor, but it's looked really easy here in the top of the 8th inning just to get their bats going. Ball is underway. That's going to be strike 2, full count for 14 Harris. Full count with 2 outs. Landrum trying to end this inning. Trying to get Huntington to the plate and start batting yet again. Foul ball.
Spring Arbor's almost scored more runs in this inning itself, no, than they have the whole rest of this game. They have 4 runs, just in this inning, and then 6 runs outside of this. So momentum definitely, I think, in my opinion, has swayed here with the 10-9 score. Spring Arbor leads. Landrum with a full count here looking to get out of this jam as Mike Crowley will come out and just have a little chit-chat with him.
Yeah, this game has been going on for quite some time, almost 3.5 hours. Long ball game, and that's partially due to the going to 9 innings game that we're going to here in this doubleheader. So really just playing a big part in this time difference from the first game. That game started at about 4 o'clock, and then second game ended up starting at about 6:15-ish. Another walk for Landrum. Runners now on first and second with 2 outs. Forster's just trying to get out of this 8th inning with just some confidence within them, trying to get their bats going here in the bottom of the 8th, but they're not going to get that chance unless they get this 3rd out.
We'll have another stoppage of play here, Noah, as Crowley will come back out and talk to Landrum. Hopefully he's just trying to calm Landrum down a little bit. Trying once again, like we've been mentioning, trying just to get him out of this jam. Got a man on second and a man on first. Your Foresters are down 10-9 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, it seems like this Foresters defense has just, their energy level has just drained during this inning. And it's because of those 4 runs that have been scored on them here in this inning. It has just been a rough one for the Foresters. Trying to get out of this inning here sometime soon. Getting pitcher and catcher come together, trying to talk about what they want to do next. Play about to resume yet again. Just trying to make sure that they're not missing anything, trying to make sure that they're both on the same page. 0-1 is the count on number 18, number 18 for Spring Arbor, Alex Hawley. Finally, this half inning has come to an end. 10-9 at the end of this 8th half inning. We will be right back here at Forest Glen Park.
At Lakeview Middle School, I'm a 7th grade language arts teacher. I primarily teach 12, 13, and sometimes 14-year-olds reading and writing.
One of the unique things about the teacher education program at Huntington University is the relationships that are developed between the faculty and students.
They are super thoughtful people. They want to be a part of your life. They want to, be your mentor and help you through this process of becoming the best teacher that you could possibly be.
I have a very good relationship with a lot of my professors from Huntington, and I think that's because they asked me questions that were even outside of the classroom. And then after class, I wanted to tell them about things that were going on in my life and the exciting things with teaching.
And because our class sizes are small, we get to know them as people, we get to know their strengths, weaknesses, because then we know how best to help them. And it also simply makes the whole experience a lot more enjoyable.
I still use a lot of the activities I learned with them with my students today. And so it was really helpful to have that time with them and especially those conversations with them. I think that Huntington prepared me incredibly well for the teaching position I have now from the beginning of when I started at Huntington.
Welcome back to Forest Glen Park here in Huntington, Indiana, home of your Huntington University Foresters. 9-10 is the score. Spring Arbor ahead of your Foresters. Huge inning for the Cougars, with them getting 4 big runs there in that last half inning. But now for the Foresters, up to bat is going to be number 24, Shea Beecham. Really, he is a power hitter, and he is definitely somebody that you can trust to really just get your bats going for your team.
We'll see Andrew Wright is still on the mound for Spring Arbor, Noah. So keeping the guy that's pitched, I don't know, a couple innings here, that's nice to see if your Spring Arbor count is now 1-1. You got to think they're maybe thinking about going the distance with him.
Yeah, they're definitely thinking about it, but there's somebody that's standing up in their bullpen. I'm not sure if he's stretching and going to get that going. There's Shea. He's going to put it back, but the center fielder for Spring Arbor, number 27, Francisco, is going to be right there to catch it. So that kills. Just with your power hitter and having a pop fly, that really just kills Huntington. Needing something just to get going. Now at the plate, number 34, Tyler Zimski.
That was a big, big rip there by Shea, Noah. I thought for a minute from the sound of that it was going to go, but like we've mentioned before, at 400 way back there, just not a lot of guys can stretch it out that far.
Yeah, he definitely would have taken that deep if it would have went to right or left field. But there is one out. 1-0 against Zimski. Now 1-1. Zimski just kind of looking at that sinker coming right down the middle of the plate. Not his pitch, so he will just look at the next one and see what Wright will be dealing him. Ball in the dirt. 2-1 is the count.
Zimski himself, he's not a huge power hitter, Noah. He's more of an on-base guy. Kind of whatever you need at the moment, he can kind of deliver and step up and just be that guy for you. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with this at-bat here.
Big rip for Zimski, but a foul ball. Just trying to get something going for the Foresters. Really, like I mentioned earlier, their energy level is just down. It's just down because of that last half inning. I mean, that did a lot of damage to these Foresters. Just trying to bounce back, trying to get something positive going out of this inning. Pitch is underway. Strike 3 for Zimski. Another strikeout for Wright.
That is a big swinging strikeout for the Foresters. We'll see Mike Crowley come up. And I believe Crowley has 2 pop flies on the day. We're really hoping from the Forester standpoint he can get one in play and get on base. Maybe even throw a pinch runner on there and try a steal attempt. Just anything to get some momentum, some energy for your Foresters. As the first pitch will be a ball.
And I have a final upset score for you for March Madness. Number 7 South Carolina upsets number 3 Baylor 70-50. That's just a butt whooping right there. Count is 1-1 against your Foresters. Number 26 Michael Crowley, catcher for the Foresters. Again, dangerous hitter for the Foresters. 2 outs. Got the bat on the ball, but fouled it off right behind him.
You know, South Carolina's not necessarily a team to be messed with, as they do have the SEC Player of the Year in Sendarius Thornwell, so I mean, they do have some potential in March Madness. In my opinion, I think they were ranked a little bit high, but, I mean, they're obviously shown they can contend here as another swinging strikeout, and that will take us out of the inning and send us into the ninth. Here from Forest Glen Park, we'll be back.
What makes the HU music department special, I think, is basically the people that make up the department.
It's like we're one big family. Instead of just friends coming together to sing and do music work, it's more like we're a family, like just brothers and sisters.
Students have an opportunity to bond with one another, being a smaller group. It gives us a chance to interact more closely with the students, to answer all their kinds of questions that might arise.
The professors are really knowledgeable, very talented, and you can tell that they really care about individual students.
We incorporate the community sometimes, so it's really good to get to meet new people from Huntington and throughout the community and just to work with everyone.
The choir performs lots of times out in area churches. The function of what we do here at Huntington is to try to make musicians and also God-honoring musicians.
It's very much a supportive community in the HU music department. So not only are you getting an excellent music education, but you are developing as a person just because you're getting to know all these great people.
Back at Forest Glen Park, Foresters trail 10-9 here in the ninth inning. That's right, I said the ninth inning. We have been going on for 3.5 hours here at Forest Glen Park. It's been a long one, but you know what? It's been a really good game with Spring Arbor coming back there in the 8th inning and just some kind of a fire lit right up inside them, and their bats got that fire. Number 27, Francisco Ondina will be at the plate for the Cougars. Count is 1-0. Bat on the ball, but it will be a foul ball.
Both teams in this ninth inning, though, will have the bottom of their lineups coming. Favor Spring Arbor a little bit more, as after Francisco, you got the top of the order again, which is some pretty solid hitters. But you got to be thinking, if the Foresters, can escape this inning at all with no runs or even one run, that's got to be huge and maybe some momentum going into the bottom half.
Yeah, definitely. If the Foresters just hold them just in this top of half inning, really that could send a lot of momentum going. But bat is on the ball, go over to left field, diving catch. Diving catch by number 34, Tyler Zimski, doing a great job of getting on the ground and just trying to hustle for that ball.
I don't think there's going to be any controversy on that call. I believe that was a straight out, Noah, so no little shakeup as we had before there.
Now at the plate for Spring Arbor is going to be in number 8, James Hall. Leadoff hitter for the Cougars. So definitely a lot of danger there. 1-0 is the count.
Hall started off relatively slow, Noah, as he was hit by a pitch, then struck out, but his last time up, he did get on base. So momentum with him changed as well as the whole team. So you got to think with the top of the order up now, a lot stronger hitters normally than you have in your bottom half. That's got to be huge for Spring Arbor, trying to get some more runs on this board to grow this lead as we see another ball to make it a 2-1 count. One out with your Foresters down 10-9 in the ninth frame.
2-1. Really just, they were trying to get something going. Right back to the pitcher, Landrum, and he will pitch it all the way over to Shea. And that will be out number 2 for the Foresters.
Here you gotta be hoping, from Mike Frame's perspective, 3 up, 3 down. Bring your hitters up, and hopefully you can get some runs on the board here, Noah.
Definitely. And batting for the Cougars is going to be number 1, Chris Triplett. Just trying to get something going for the Cougars. Squared up for a bunt right there at the last second. Pulled it back, and it's going to be a 1-0 count. Spring Arbor trying to get something going right here. Ball in play. Weird hop. Going all the way over the first base. He will be safe at first. That was just a really weird hop. I mean, the ball bounced about 5 feet in front of the plate and just bounced straight up in the air. Really, TV Dad had no time to get the ball over there to first base.
Seemed like it was almost eye level, if not even higher than we are up here, knowing the press box is quite a ways up compared to the field.
Crowley able to corral the ball. Really just trying to keep it in front of him. Did a great job right there and does a great job really at any time. Only a couple pass balls tonight. Landrum with the pitch. Ball in play, and that will be a foul ball. Again, just trying to end this inning, the Forcers are. Count is 1-1 with 2 outs.
Tyler Reed does have 13 strikeouts so far on the year, Noah, so you got to think Landrum's hoping to get him in a hole here and maybe get a strikeout here, as that'll be a ball just a little bit outside. Be a 2-1 count.
Really close. Crowley, if he would have just had a handle on the ball, he would have been able to give that over to Shea, and they would have gotten that out pretty quickly. Another foul ball, so the count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs at the top of the 9th inning. Spring Arbor leading the Foresters 10-9.
In this instance, Noah, you'd almost got to think from Landrum's perspective, if he's got a slider or something that moves away, as we'll see one hit out to left field. That'll advance the guy to second base and put Reed on first. So with 2 outs, Spring Arbor will keep this inning alive, as number 4, Longren, will come up to bat, and Crowley will once again go out to Landrum. There is some activity out in the Forcers bullpen, Noah, so that could be a call here, as we see Frame now walking out.
Yeah, Zimski not able to make that play out in left field, but doing a great job of just keeping the ball in front of him. There was a nice solid hop right into his glove, and just he did a great job of getting that in as fast as possible. And there's going to be a substitution. So we will actually just stay here, kind of talk about the game just a little bit, kind of reflect on some things. Ryan, what is one of the things that has really stood out to you in this ball game?
I think for the Foresters, they got out, they hung with the Spring Arbor Cougars early in the game, and then as the game kind of went on, the Foresters built a little lead, and then it just kind of whittled away a little bit. Then Spring Arbor had that huge inning, and just some pitching errors, really just little mistakes have just caused this lead that the Foresters did have to just evaporate, as it's a 10-9 lead by Spring Arbor right now. The pitching change that was made, we will have Mason Coy in the game for your Foresters. He is currently a relief pitcher, as he's got just over 2 innings pitched this year. Coy's definitely a person, though, you want in the game late, as he's had great success as a relief pitcher. If we look back at the pitchers in this game so far, we had Taram Beachy start the game. He did a good job at the start of the game. Then in relief of him, we had Connor West come in, played pretty good, pitched some good innings. Landrum relieved him of his duties. did a good job. That big last inning they had, that kind of killed a little bit of the Foresters' momentum. So hopefully Mason Coy can come in and really just take away anything with 2 runners on base here that really Spring Arbor has going for them, Noah.
Yeah, Mason Coy, he is a senior left-handed pitcher out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. He graduated from Bishop Luers High School. Just trying to bring his talents from Fort Wayne all the way over to Huntington University. Really not that far away from his hometown, only just about a few miles. One of the things, his last school that he was at, he was a transfer out of Manchester University. So really, he's got the experience. Let's just hope that he can bring it with him here tonight. Being a senior, being one of the 11 seniors on this roster, I can't stress that enough, that we have 11 seniors, because there's just so much potential for this year. I mean, I think this game will really show just a glimpse of our potential. Starts him off with a strike early.
That's a huge first strike, Noah, for Coy to get in the game. It just shows his experience not only pitching for Manchester, but when he transferred into Huntington. I'm sure he's been in a lot of these situations as he is a relief pitcher. We'll see a foul tip there, so that'll be a 0-2 count. That's definitely a hole that Longren was not wanting to be in. But as we said, Coy, the experience, the senior, I mean, he's got it. This is a perfect situation for him. Hopefully he can shut them down, keep these 2 guys on base. As we see a pop fly out, that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. Great pitch there by Coy. We'll be back here with the bottom half of the 9th inning. Your Foresters are down 10-9.
My name is Anita Gray, and I'm the director. My absolute passion is teaching students how to use credible sources. I ask them questions, have you thought about this, have you thought about that? And all of a sudden that light bulb goes on and they go, aha, and they get it. I don't think there's any better feeling in the profession than that. It's just so exciting to watch a student go through the process of learning. I've had several students and faculty say, I went down and looked for this book and I found another one that looks really interesting. So I decided to check that one out too. Or I need to look a little bit more in my subject area because there are some really good materials down there. I liken it in some ways to Alice in Wonderland. You fall into the hole of the area of your study. And Alice had constant discovery. She had to have constant discovery because strange things were happening to her. She had to learn how to get out of them or how to deal with them. And that's the same way with learning. You when you start falling into that hole of a topic and you need to learn more and you need to find out more and you have to do this and sorry, I get really excited about this. That's what you can do in a library. You can go into the shelves, you can go into the stacks and look and see if you can find more information.
Back here at Forest Glen Park, bottom of the 9th, Foresters trailing by 1 run, 9-10. Now, starting this off for the Foresters is going to be number 33 for the Foresters, Will Corsinkar. Just trying to get something going, being a pinch hitter. Grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and graduated from Southside High School.
No, if you think back to that first game we had today, I know we both watched it. He had a solo shot out of the park here, as hopefully they can get some of that momentum back. As I believe with Coy coming in, shutting down that last half of the inning there of Spring Arbor's little run, I guess you could say, I feel like the Foresters have momentum on their side now.
One of the things that you really got to look at about Will is that he's a transfer out of IU, and he is just a monster pitcher. He's got a great fastball on him. Definitely well used by Huntington and just well loved by Huntington, first of all. Will up to bat now. Count is 1-2. Pitch is underway. Now count is 2-2. Just starting off this 9th inning, really Huntington needs some runners. That's what all they need to worry about is just runners, and then they can worry about getting those runners home. For now, Will pitch on their way, swung and missed. He needs to go to first right now. Ball is at the backstop, and he goes. Ball is juggled, and he will stay safe. That is why you always need to keep running. That would have been huge if he would have just stayed right there in the batter's box and walked over to his dugout, but instead his teammates yelling at him. They were really yelling at him.
I believe we'll have a pinch runner here as TJ Hillstrain will come into the game for your Foresters, and Hillstrain's got some speed behind him, Noah.
Yeah,
Excuse me, that's Lindstrom, not Hillstrain. My bad.
Yeah, Lindstrom, really, he has just been so experienced with the Foresters. He's an outfield senior, and he is out of Noblesville, Indiana. He graduated from Noblesville High School. So the next batter for the Foresters will be number 23, Drew McLaughlin. He's a sophomore out of Noblesville, Indiana. And he also graduated from Noblesville High School.
I was just about to say that's one key thing we should mention is a lot of your Foresters are local guys from around this area. And with Lindstrand and McClellan both playing on the same team, that's some team chemistry right there that you can't really match. 4 years in high school, couple years here in college now, as that is a strike called. It'll be a 0-1 count. Foresters are still down 1. Excuse me, Noah.
Hey, you're fine. Foresters just really need to get something going right here. Need a base hit. That's going to be a foul ball. Just off of McLaughlin's arm, or I think it actually hit his shin and bounced up and hit his arm, but that will be a foul ball either way. 0-2 is the count. Need to keep staying positive here with their confidence, because that really is what drives a good baseball player. It's just confidence in himself and what he can do.
You know, energy might have been down these last couple innings, Noah, but this whole Forester dugout is now standing up, cheering on each other. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the pitch comes in.
McLaughlin did call time before the pitch was thrown, and so he will get yet another opportunity. And that really disrupts the pitcher for Spring Arbor.
Playing a little bit of mind games with the pitcher, maybe hoping to get him a step off his stride or something. Maybe send TJ up for a steal here.
That'd be much appreciated, but the ball is in play out to center field. TJ gonna go tag up, and he will stay at first base with 1 out. 2 more outs for Spring Arbor until if they get these 2 outs, then they will win this second ball game. Now the next batter for the Foresters will be number 5, Dylan Hendricks. He's the third baseman. I'm sorry, he is the second baseman for these Foresters.
Hendricks is a guy that really hasn't had a bad game all day, you know. He's put some balls into play, really just played well. As we'll see a pitch here, that'll be a ball. And, I mean, you can't really forget about him because he can swing the bat, but at the same time, you can't forget there's still a runner on first, Noah. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. You don't know what's going to happen. This could be a tie game. Just the possibilities are endless on what could happen here.
Ball will go foul off of Hendricks. Doing a good job of just kind of swinging at anything close. Kind of 1-1 for Hendricks. Just trying to get the runner home for Huntington so that we can have a tie ball game. You know, I know I'm thinking pretty big right here, but if he gets a home run, the game is over. But that's what you hope for, but that's not what you shoot for. You're shooting for just a tie ball game or just getting on base any way that you possibly can. Count is 2-1 late here in the 9th inning.
I think really what Mike Frame's hoping for, to go upon what you were mentioning, Noah, maybe fly ball out to one of the valleys kind of between center field and right field or center field and left field. Something that's high enough to get out there but not too high to where it's a pop fly. That could definitely bring TJ Ennis. We'll see another foul ball. The count is now 2-2, still 1 out. Your Foresters are still down 1 run in the bottom of the 9th. I don't know about you, but I just feel like a big play is one swing away from happening here for your Foresters.
Definitely, and you kind of look to who's next in the lineup, and that's going to be Jamar Weaver. Jamar Weaver has had a pretty decent game so far to this point, but Hendricks is at the plate, 2-2, calls time, just trying to mess with Wright just a little bit. Count is 2-2, 1 out. Hendricks at the plate, waiting for that last pitch. Ball is right back up the middle. That goes up, gets him at second, does not get him at first. And that would have had a game over as well if they would have converted that double play. But there is still 1 runner on first. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Now, Jamar Weaver, as a kid, you kind of live for these moments. You kind of live for these pressure moments. Just, hitting the game-winning home run or just extending the game just a little bit more. But, he needs to have the right mindset and just extend the game. Just try to get on base and possibly get Hendricks home.
And we can't forget that huge triple he had earlier in the game, Noah. I mean, just moments like this, like you said, are moments you dream of as a kid, counting down 3, 2, 1 in basketball, shooting like the game-winning shot. In baseball, throwing up the ball and just cherry bombing it. Just hoping for a big play here. And the Foresters, they haven't played great here as of late, but overall, Noah, it seems like they have more energy, which hopefully that transfers over to the batters and gets some energy to them. That way they can send one out of the park or, like you've said, keep one in play, but enough to get us in position to score.
Count 1-1, 2 outs. 2-1. Weaver doing a great job of just laying back on that and watching that go by for a ball. And really, with these pressure moments, you got to think that he's saying, I want to swing. I really want to swing. But it just takes that much effort to hold himself back, which really just shows how controlling he really is. And there's another ball, 3-1 in the count. And you can tell that Wright is really wanting to end this for himself, but he's just struggling just that little bit.
And with 33 years of coaching experience, Noah, you got to know Frame's been in these situations, so he knows what to do. It's just getting his players to execute. And that'll be the ball game as it is a ground out to short, folks. The final score will be 10-9. Spring Arbor comes back and gets the win.
Yeah, really tough loss for the Foresters. Doing a great job of just kind of rallying back, but Spring Arbor, you got to give it to them for that for those 4 runs that they got in the 8th inning. Just says a lot about them. Again, final score 9-10. Your Foresters losing this second game of the doubleheader. Next game will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock here at Forster Glen Park at 1 o'clock. Don't forget to tune in to FDN Sports if you can't make it. Again, thank you again for all the FDN Sports crew. Have a great night.